running out to speak to a couple of players.
Yeah, he'll just go out to make sure that they know that they're being watched, and you know they don't like doing it, but that's the instruction they're given.
Carlton to the left, St Kilda to the right in the first quarter. Both ruckmen went up high. Neither could get an effective tap out. High kick comes from McLaren. Doesn't really clear the centre square. Chance for the Blues. Hand pass was blocked down there by Trianides. Kick off the ground. Comes up towards centre wing. Chance for the Saints. Matthew Young takes it from Shane Wakeland. Gets a good grab of Murphy. Fraser Brown, a little flip out. It comes to Sexton. Secco's kick up towards the left half forward flank. Whitnell nearly. Chance for Winmar. Pressured. Or did he get a push in the back there? The umpire let it go. Winmar applies a tackle. Arguably too high on Diulio. Now, a couple there for you, Jack Russo.
Yeah, there actually should have been a free kick paid back on the wing to Matthew Young, but yeah, for a high tackle, Pete. But yeah, we see the free kick paid here. Nicky Winmar goes in to contest the ball, and Camporelli tackled high was the free kick paid.
And Pete, just Carlton have gone with the lineup with Silvani in at full forward. That's to compensate for the lack of Hamill not making the side this week from his shin injury, and Pearce obviously out. So to assist Whitnell, Silvani in the forward line.
Blue supporters would say thank heavens he's messed up a couple, but that's being hypercritical, isn't it? Camporelli's kick up towards full forward. That's as far as it's going, and rushed through for one behind.
Peter, just a quick one on the Nicky Winmar situation. I think Carlton know the only way to get Winmar in is to intimidate him right from the start of the game. I think it all started when in the past 4 or 5 years, if you get him in, suck him in, it takes his mind off the game and he doesn't perform.
So Wakeland to bring this ball in now. He kicks it to himself because he didn't have an option, then drives it over that 50-metre line. Whitnell at the back, went for the punch. It was good disciplined play. Here's Tony Brown from half back. Bring it around the boundary area. This is Trianides. Jason Trianides onto his left. A low trajectory kick in towards the half-forward line. The ball hits the deck. They go in hard after it. This is Mitchell. Mitchell puts it out in front of Andrew Thompson, and right in front of the Melbourne members, the ball rolls over the line. Terry, I want to ask you, do you agree with the Silvani move? He is the best fullback in the country, apart from McIntosh, that is.
Well, in order to win the game, they've really got to kick a score of goals. Their score powering hasn't been. They're only averaging 12 goals a game, Pete. And on conditions like this is ideal here today. They need to be kicking something like 16 to win this game.
Massey knocked it to the front. Brown was there, so to Rice. It's over the boundary line in front of the inappropriately named Smokers stand.
And just in terms of the matchup, so they're very important in the midfield. But at this stage, it looks like Harvey and Bradley are actually running with each other. So there's going to be a lot of footy won there. And Burke and Fraser Brown against each other.
Low to Thompson. Not a bad bit of ruck work. Fraser Brown just about has his head buried there. There's a divot. It's going to be a ball up, yeah.
He's been very good in the last month or so, hasn't he, Fraser Brown? Served some time through suspension, but since then he's been back in, averaging something like 25 possessions and 38 last week. So he's been a very good ball getter in the middle.
I was about to say, playing the best footy of his career. Well, those stats would back that up, I think.
High tackle to Stewie Lowe will be paid.
Burke's got it, but the advantage not being paid, and he was asking the question why.
Yeah, well, the instruction given to the guys is that if the player's prime intention is to contest the ball, then the coincidental contact over the shoulder should be permitted. So, in the umpire's opinion, obviously that wasn't coincidental contact over Stewie Lowe's shoulder.
And Terry Wheeler, with Silvani going to the forward line, it looks like Manton is actually picking up Peter Everett. Well, that's a huge height advantage to Everett.
It is, and I think Stan's got the advantage at the moment with Everett being in that goal square. If they can get there quickly, he is their best option at goal.
493 career goals for Stewie Lowe. Make that 494. First to the Saints.
Pete, you've mentioned this before. His goal kicking has really improved, hasn't it?
Yes, he's worked at it hard over years. Peter Hudson, the great Peter Hudson, took him for a long time. Terry, there's a lot going on here with Winmar now. I've been watching Franchina. Gee, is he hard at the ball?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he's a young player who's been given the physical matchup challenges right throughout the season. Like he's taken on blokes like Harvey early in the year and Matera and Cousins and all these guys. Now he's got a big one here with Winmar.
So we're back in the middle. The Saints lead by 5 points. There's Nicky Winmar. It's knocked out wide by Allen. Did well, Fraser Brown under Bradley. He's got the job on Harvey. Bradley from outside 50, bends it back. Silvani, yes! Oh, well, it's going to work out early in the piece. I wonder what the angle will be. I think it's going to be very severe. He might play on here. He can run out to the right and I'm sure he will open up the goals and have a snap. Out he comes. Snap. It's high.
I think.
It's very close. He might have just missed. Oh, goodness me.
Well, I mean, what he did wrong there was he just kicked it too high. That kick only needs to go half a goalpost high. That's the maximum height for that shot there. And Steve, for whatever reason, he laid back on it and went well above the height of the goalpost. Now, too high, keep it down about half goalpost height.
Yes, I agree with that, Terry. Opportunity missed there as we see a side-on shot of this kick in. You can see the Carlton players have got the short one covered. So he's forced Wakeland to kick it up the middle. It'll flip over the back here. Nicky Winmar. Oh, he's lost it. He bounced it and lost it. Fraser Brown gets it to Whitnell. A quick kick to half forward. The mark is dropped. Shane Wakeland is there. Now Zillow. Oh, an elbow.
Yeah, and been caught too.
And
the fend off by Stephen Ziller was, I think it's Stephen Ziller, was actually with the arm and certainly made contact high.
Yeah,
so
bang. Oh, gee.
Now, the fend off to the face is certainly not permitted, so the free kick correctly paid.
Well, it's a free kick and it's going to Diulio from 20 metres directly in front, and maybe the Blues' first goal. They've had a couple of chances. He's a pretty good kick for goal normally. Ronnie Diulio stabs it low. And he has missed, I think. Oh, this is poor kicking for goal by Carlton. This is sort of kicking where that you can lose games.
Ask Collingwood all about that. You'll be very busy this week if you visit your old clubs.
Don't you worry, Collingwood have got Tony Shaw taking the kicking, mate.
I'll leave that alone. Zimmer needs to be quick. Massey. Well, caught out of position there. Thompson. Wakeland. Oh, is that a mark?
Yep.
Umpires paid it. Sexton from Manton. Now Koutafidis back into the side today. Kouta from right half back. Kicks to a contest on centre wing. Shane Wakeland's got it. Well, he looks more like Big Carl every day, doesn't he? Peter Everett. The headband, the height, the blonde locks.
But at least they've forced him a long way out of goal, Pete. That's a bit of an advantage for Carlton defence.
Squares the ball, and that's okay. Brett Cook at centre half forward. Lead made by Trianides. He's ignored that. Kicks from about 65 metres. Low, has the sit at the back, couldn't complete it, and it trundles over the line for a rush behind in front of Peter Everett. So a behind to the Saints.
There's a lot at stake here for both sides, and there's been some errors in the opening part of the quarter, particularly in goal-scoring opportunities for Carlton down left of screen. I think both sides will settle down over the next couple of minutes because they're quite ideal conditions here for football. This is when you love to play the game.
Rice looking a little bit frustrated, gets the whistle from the umpire. So subsequent to that, decides to go long. Manton again, got a couple of fingers to it, and the umpire says he's been paid the mark. That's okay at centre half back. He gives it to Bradley.
Well, Harvey not yet in the game. Bradley kicks it out in front of a couple of players, one being Sexton. This is a good start by Carlton. They're looking all right. Down to Silvani. Silvani and Hudson. Silvani! Oh, body in front. Experience. Arch the back. Good mark, Terry Wheeler.
Oh, no doubt about that. I mean, it's going to be a tough ask there for Maxie Hudson playing against someone of this calibre. I mean, Silvani, he has been that goal kicker for them, hasn't he? Kicked 6 goals a couple of times last year. 3 goals earlier this year. This could be goal number 50 for the season.
Well, don't tell me he's missed this. I'd be whacking him straight back to the full back if he keeps kicking like that. I mean, that is disgraceful kicking for goal by Carlton on a beautiful day. That was 20 metres. Ron Diulio was 22 metres.
What did he do wrong there?
Well, the error was he tried to only kick it 30.
Well, he didn't take much time over it, that's for sure.
He needs to be able to kick the ball 60 or 70 metres through the goals, not just trying to get it over the goal line. And he was a bit proppy on it there, not enough momentum in the approach.
Well, here's Brett Cook marking at half back. He gives it off to Wakeland. Centre wing, Trianides. That was Shane Wakeland who kicked that down. I waited till he turned round. So Jason Trianides to the half-forward line, low, a little bit underneath it. Rice and Manton will take it over the line. And, well, all of those shots for goal, 4 of them, well, 3 of them certainly should have been kicked.
Two by Silvani,
they're
one
all
to
at the
Diulio.
same end. They're all at the same end that Sav Rocker and the Collingwood boys missed yesterday as well.
I don't think you should mention that fly. Thompson goes in with great courage, gets met solidly by Ratton.
Well, I maintain it's the one skill. Every skill of football has improved over the years, except kicking for goal. I reckon it has not improved at all.
Training sessions that I witness these days on a regular basis, they don't seem to practice it much either. Anyway, personal observation for what it's worth. Quick kick comes out of the pack towards centre wing. It's going to beat Young over the boundary line with Murphy, and it will be thrown in next to the interchange gates. 3 points the margin in favour of St Kilda, but Carlton wasting opportunities. Silvani twice and Ron Diulio missing goals that they should have kicked. Allen taps down, chance for Brown. Both Browns. Bradley off the ground. Murphy misses it. Bradley won't. Gets collected and will not get a free kick. It's out of bounds.
You're right there, Pete. Just a call of the two colours together. The Brown boys, they have now matched up together. So there's three pairs there are very similar. Brown and Brown, Harvey and Bradley against each other. Good strong runners. Then Ratton and Burt very hard in close.
Zilla to Tony Brown. Clears it away from Murphy. On the 50-metre arc. Quick kick off the ground. That's out of bounds again. So it's pretty tough in the clinches. That's young Massey, Chris Massey. Taken number 7 in the 97 national draft from the Dandenong Stingrays. And Terry and I both saw him in the under-19s grand final last year. I think we agreed then he was going to be a player, and we've seen nothing to change our mind so far. Bit of aerial ping-pong here. Burke looks for the free kick. The umpire says no, it's out of bounds.
Right in front of the Melbourne members, there's Nathan Burke, who's been a fantastic play for the Saints over approximately 200 games. Harvey yet to get into this game. There's Zilla. A quick kick. It's up in the air towards the half-forward line. Low with strength. Just on Kutafidis. Judged it well, but it was really strength in the long run that won out.
Yeah, it was. Getting into the front position. I mean, Stewart, without any doubt at all, will be keen to do well. His 3 weeks of suspension have matched up with 3 losses for the St Kilda side, so perhaps it does underlie his importance to the club. At centre-half forward, all you're looking for all times is a contest. That one, there wasn't a pact at form. It was a one-on-one duel between two very good marks. Low in the front position, did the better.
Well, he's kicking for his second. His kicking used to be much maligned. But this will just, oh, that might have been touched or might have been behind the line, I think. Yes, right on the line, but it's a goal.
Glenn Mountain actually demonstrating that his feet landed in front of the line when he touched the ball, but the umpire obviously believed that the ball was in fact touched by the hands behind the goal line.
Well, whatever way it gets there, I guess it gets there. And for St Kilda to get the first 2 on the board, it's been very good for them. Lowe has been the player to get them for them, obviously, but then Carlton have had enough opportunities to make better on the scoreboard.
So Stewie Lowe getting 2 goals, approaching a major milestone, 500 career goals. Don't think he'll get them this afternoon. He needs another 6. Allen gets it down. Bradley, great speed from the veteran, and I don't think he'd mind being called that. Hudson does battle again with Silvani, and that has rolled out of bounds, or is it a behind? It's the latter. So kicked by Craig Bradley, his first score of the day.
And Pete, you can see the relationship between Bradley and Silvani. Silvani won't necessarily lead to Bradley. Bradley on the fly out of those centre bounces is much better balanced to kick the ball the 50 metres, so Silvani will be an option in the goal square for Craig.
Shane Wakeland in front of Franchina takes the mark in the back pocket, gets it moving quickly, and that is out of bounds. Peckett couldn't do anything about that. Bad kick.
He just rushed himself in the pocket there, Wakeland. He could have got off the mark and been able to pick it up and try to squeeze it in underneath the man guarding the mark.
Diulio goes backwards to Bradley. They may lose this. It could be a costly turnover. Bradley with courage gets it to McKay. Fraser Brown kicks long up towards full forward. Silvani and Hudson again. This time Hudson punches the ball down to Shane Wakeland. Gets ridden into the ground. Hudson missed it, having a bad start. Silvani trips over him. The hand pass ineffective. That's out of bounds. Umpire lets it go. Now it's out of bounds and on the full. A little bit of luck there. Now let's take a look at this one. That definitely was out of bounds.
And if you're playing that back pocket there, you make sure it goes out of bounds. You don't risk it there.
Fraser Brown kicks to a contest. Everett, Ratton. Which way is it going to bounce? Young can't take the mark. Diulio, no! 6 straight behinds to Carlton. Unbelievable.
Aussie Jones is coming onto the ground.
Going to the forward pocket, it looks like.
And I think it was Cook went off, was it? Brett Cook? So a little man on and a big man off.
Yeah, just a little bit of pace in the forward line, and you would hope that he does do well in the early part.
Look at this kick in from full back, straight out of bounds without being touched. Beaumont can chip it into a very good kick in Murphy, and I don't think they could have a better guy shooting for goal than Justin Murphy. He's a tremendous kick.
You're right there, Peter, because Aussie Jones is standing on his own without an opponent, 50 metres clear. So if they cleared that ball out of that kick out, it could have been a certain goal.
Well, the kick in was atrocious. I think it was Matthew Young who kicked it in, but here's Murphy. Well, I've given him a rap. Let's see how he kicks it. Well, he's kicked it poorly also. Well, is there a 100-mile-per-hour gale out there? 7 behinds.
Collingwood had 9 straight yesterday. Now Carlton have got 7 straight to that end. Must be a magnet there.
Well, I reiterate, I still say.
And he knew straight on.
Kicking over the years just hasn't improved at all for goal.
He knew that off the boot too, Pete.
Well, the kick in comes to Peckett from Winmar. Let's see what the Saints can do. Lower's kicked 2 goals from 2 set shots. It's on centre wing with Nathan Berger. He's happy to roll it over. I don't think Rob Harvey's touched the ball yet. Let me have a look at these stats here.
No, mate.
Hasn't touched the ball. Not a kick or a handball. That's very unusual.
Remarkable. I had to look twice to see that he was out there. He is.
Bet you he gets 30 touches by the end of the day, Pete.
Yeah, he's...
Well, he may well do, but hasn't had an influence yet. So 6 points is the margin. Carlton 7 straight behinds. The Saints have kicked 2-1, both of them to Stuart Lowe. And the other behind was a rush behind. Zilla. Quick kick out of the congestion. Massey gets confronted by Tony Brown. Up in the air it goes. Trianides, a fumble. May prove costly again at midfield. McLaren confronted by Murphy. And the umpire will ball it up just wide at the centre circle.
I think what's surprised Robert Harvey is he's got no one running with him. It's a different kettle of fish for him here today. He and Craig Bradley are in a real shootout here, just who can get the most number of football. Clearly Bradley's been the better player of the two at this early stage.
Allen over the top, well done to Bradley. Kicks to half forward. Zilla, has he got the mark? He has. Umpire's paid it. Gets around the man on the mark, who was Camporelli? Young. A few defensive errors so far in the first quarter. Carlton hasn't made the Saints pay yet. This is McLaren. McLaren looks for Sierakowski, who takes the mark. Quick kick back to quick pass to McLaren. Beaumont. Now Massey from right centre wing. Silvani and Hudson. Bounces better for Hudson. Able to get it to Shane Wakeland. Able to get it to Young. Young from left half back should clear. That's better onto Sierakowski at centre wing, but he has missed the mark. So the first quarter less than memorable for both sides so far.
Yeah, Pete, I reckon you can sort of put that down to the pressure on both teams to succeed today. I mean, Carlton have been competitive in the last few weeks and unlucky on the odd occasion, but gee whiz, St Kilda just have to win, and skills certainly seem to be down.
Sexton to Murphy. Here's Beaumont driving it wide. It's Carlton in front. Mark dropped by Camporelli. That was good play. Now they're a chance. They need someone in the lead. They've got 2. Silvani dives. He's got support. Fraser Brown onto the right, bending it back. Is this their first? Yes. So at long last, Carlton break the drought. Good goal after some good play by Camporelli after he dropped the mark.
Well, with the structure that Carlton have got in the forward line at the moment, Silvani at full forward, my concern is with Lance Whitnell. He really looks out of it at half forward. He isn't able to get into the game at all. And I think that's due to Carlton's ability at the moment to carry the ball through the centre of the ground. Bradley's in very good form. When he gets it, he's carrying it a good 20 metres, so they're bypassing Whitnell often.
I was surprised that ball bounced straight. It did go through for a goal. The way Carlton's luck has been going, 7 straight behinds. But they tie it up in the first quarter. Everett up high, tried to find Thompson. Murphy knocks it back whence it came. Now Thompson goes out wide. McLaren. Peckett, bad hand pass. Peckett may be able to get it back to him. He can. McLaren at left half back. Thompson still calling for it and gets it. Quick kick to clear the congestion. Sierakowski gets nudged out of it down there for Carlton by Hines. Still Hines. A rookie, Burke. Harvey finally gets a possession. Mitchell. Quick kick up towards full forward. Allen drops back into the hole to take the mark. He'll get it to Rice. Not a great kick. Rice under pressure from Jones. Able to brush the tackle. Rice's kick straight up to Mackay. A juggle, but he takes the mark. Carlton looking the goods now. Starting to get some run out of defence, and that's a good sign after those 7 straight behinds. And the two runners at midfield, Brown and Bradley, doing some good work. Bradley's kick up towards Whitnell, couldn't complete the mark. Silvani, snapshot. Sexton underneath it,
touched off the boot.
McLaren realises that, rushes it through for a behind. Good call, Wheels.
Yes, definitely touched.
I'd like to take the accolade, Pete, but it was the umpire who called touch play on up from up here.
1-8 to 2-1. Well, the Saints kicking in, and some of the defensive errors they've made, I don't think would overjoy Stan Alves. Well, that nearly goes out of bounds as well, but Shane Wakeland's marked in the back pocket.
And he's going short here, and Mitchell had 2 to beat. Allen did very, very well then to allow Franchina to bring it in. Silvani couldn't grab it. It's kicked back by Zilla. Allen flying, he's got some support, and this is young Chris Massey. He's going to be a very good player, this young bloke. That's a good low kick. That's the way to kick it to your forwards, but unfortunately his forwards let him down, and the mark taken by Shane Wakeland. On to Burke. Well, he kicked it straight across goal here to Hutchton because they had the loose man going. A contest out here. Beaumont did well on Trianides. Very well done, but Trianides mops up to Tony Brown. Good tackle by Murphy. Everett can't pick it up. Now he does. Quick hand pass. Mackay is there. Good play by Andrew Mackay. On to Manson. Now Beaumont. He's a left footer. That's almost a free kick to Whitnell. Not paid. Now is that Harvey at the bottom of that pack?
It is.
Robbie Harvey holding the ball, says the umpire. And it's going to Beaumont.
Bit tough.
Yeah, obviously deemed that Robbie Harvey's actually dragged the ball in the umpire's opinion.
Silvani.
And that looked tough.
Oh, Silvani. Goal. He's kicked the ripper. So Carlton are looking good. This is a danger game for the Saints, but look at that. 10 shots to 3, Terry.
I mean, Carlton really have dominated the game. Other than the 2 goals that Stewie Lowe has got, accuracy has aided St Kilda. Down here, umpire gives them an opportunity here. Beaumont gets the ball on quickly towards Silvani playing in the forward line. That's his 50th career goal. It's taken a long time to get with some 250 games.
Great snap by Steve Silvani after he missed 2, I won't say sitters, but 2 goals that he probably should have kicked. So good start by the Blues, and it could have been better, but let's not dwell on that. It may still be better. Fraser Brown out of the centre with the left up to Whitnell, who'd like to get into the game. Hand pass wasn't intended for Franchina, but he may kick a goal. It's up. It's not under. It's, I think, there. He's kicked it, the little fella. That's Carlton's 3rd. It just had enough carry. So after 7 straight behinds, the Blues have kicked a further 3-1. He scratches his head, but it was a good kick.
Well, now they're starting to get a return for their efforts here, Carlton. They're just finding a little bit of space at half forward. The St Kilda defence really is under pressure. They haven't used the ball well, and a lot of that pressure has been a result of their own decisions to try and move the ball far too quickly away from the set play.
Well, St Kilda continuing their poor form here. Carlton right from the outset have looked the better side. 11 scoring shots to 3. Lowe's in the ruck. Here they go again. Murphy kicks to the half forward line. Young's after it. He's got Ratton to beat. Ratton's a very strong player. Socket off the ground. Here's Harvey. He's only had 1 touch. He's going to get his 2nd now. He brings it in with a kick towards half forward. They need someone to take a mark. The strong Carlton defence punch it away. Andrew Thompson towards the half forward line, taken away by McLaren, in towards the half forward line, punched away by Manton, and eventually it's forced to the line. Or was that Harvey who kicked it down?
In some particular sides versus sides, there are matchups that work well, and this game's got the matchups, and they're all working very well for Carlton at the moment. This Manton-Everett one, I think Manton's as good a matchup that Everett can get by any side in the competition.
Kick up towards half forward. Sexton claiming it and gets it. Bradley again, as I mentioned previously, Bradley and Brown doing some damage at midfield. Bradley to Allen. Allen at left centre wing. He's right in front of our commentary position, next to the interchange gates. He kicks up the Whitnell, as I said, dying to get into the game. Gets clear of Daryl Wakeland, up towards full forward and Silvani. Good punch away that time by Hudson. Silvani's had the better of that duel, certainly, with 1 goal, 2, including that great snap. He'll be probably persevered with, although David Parkin's patience may have been tested with those 2 misses. Whitnell in front to the back. Camporelli tries to break the tackle. That was from Zilla. Shane Wakeland, short of left half back, draws Beaumont, goes in short. Harvey takes his first mark. Starting to come into the game. That's a good sign for St Kilda. Tryon Eady's and Mackay. Mackay looked out of that contest, and he'll be suited by the boundary line, over which the ball crosses at centre wing.
Peter, we talk about St Kilda's mistakes, but having a look around the rooms before the game, the guys were very keen to just work on their own instincts, and that's where they were sort of losing out in the last couple of weeks. They were sort of not giving the first option, and that's what they're trying to do at the moment, and it's falling down.
Now Rice to Murphy. Koutafidis did the ruck work. Whitnell, will he get his first mark? He does, in front of Daryl Wakeland, one of the young stars of Carlton this year and of the competition. Allen's got the sit from behind. Has he got the mark?
Give it to him.
Yep. I don't think there was any doubt about that.
No, he's been very impressive. I mean, back in the centre bounces, he's had 5 hit outs and St Kilda haven't had one, and the breaks then have all gone Carlton's way, 5-1, and now he's getting down on the forward line, putting real pressure on the St Kilda defence. He's the one player whose body language can really determine the way in which Carlton go about a game.
He's got the goal. Korean goal number 31 for him.
Yeah, what I like about Matthew Allen is that, you know, it's been a long apprenticeship. He's about his 6th year with Carlton and had to play in the shadows of Justin Madden. But now that he's getting the chance to have a go at being number 1, it's still a slow process, but more and more he's starting to exert an influence on the game in a physical sort of presence, and taking strong marks like that inside contests. That's the sort of physical presence that big men need to have on the game.
Joe McLaren off and Brett Cook on. Now can't get it down to Spider Everett, is down there on Manton with a huge height advantage, but Carlton dominating midfield. Here's Robbie Harvey now, out of the middle, gets it to Jones. Jones runs to 50, they need a goal. It's a driving kick, and he's missed. He's hit the post, in fact, as Harvey gave a brilliant handball, and that's the one positive for St Kilda. Rob Harvey in the last couple of minutes starting to get into the game. There's the St Kilda bench, Joe McLaren. And Tony Brown's there also. Now, this is a very good player, Andrew Mackay. Week in, week out, he's a top player. Rice, low trajectory kick, good punch away. Back it comes. Bradley taps it to Sexton. Here's Brett Ratton. Gee, they're looking good. That's a brilliant hand pass to Murphy, who's a booming kick. Here's Silvani. Hudson at the back, Silvani at the front. Hudson did well, but Whitnell's going to latch onto this. He's got it, the young player. Centres it. That was good play. Here's a kick in midair by Diulio. He's missed. Now Silvani can't get his boot to it. Right in the goal square. Gee, that is pressure personified there, Terry.
Great tackle there from Peckett. I don't know how far you have to turn them before a free kick's given. Now, I reckon that's holding the ball.
Yeah, I must admit I agree with you, Terry. He's actually waited until he was facing his own goal before he's attempted to dispose of the footy, and that's too long.
Gee, we all agree on one. That's terrific. Chalk it up, boys.
I also agree with Wheels.
Rushed through by Shane Wakeland. Rush behind of the Blues in the dying moments of the first quarter. 33 plays 14. We've got under 3 minutes left. 4-9 to 2-2. Well, I suppose the Saints have made the most of their opportunities. Burke, gee, that had to be good. It was. Well, back to Young, another defensive error. This has been that's out of bounds on the full, is it?
Where's it?
Might have been over the line before it came off his shin.
Well, certainly very nearly out of bounds on the full anyway. No, that's a hand that's propelled it from Matthew Young over the boundary line.
Gee, who's going to kick in next quarter, you'd reckon? Burke. Maybe I answered my own question. Oh, Allen again from behind, but that time couldn't complete the mark. Surakoski, pin, quick hand pass, not really to the advantage of his side. Mackay and Harvey, well done by the Brownlow medalist. A quick hand pass and the Saints a chance to go forward. Kick comes from Cook, but out of bounds on the full.
Gee, they're playing poorly, Pete.
Peter, you mentioned Fraser Brown's dominance in the centre bounce, and we've seen Tony Brown for St Kilda on the interchange bench. So Matthew Young now has the job curbing Fraser Brown. Kutafidi's kick, not great, but McKay from Murphy was okay. Whitnell in front, he's got strong hands, he's got to beat Darryl Wakeland, couldn't do so. And the Saints seek and find the safety of the boundary line. It's just in the midfield and the alternating between who's marking each player at any given time. Just that Carlton seem to have more fluency amongst themselves in being able to pick up the St Kilda players and dominate them.
Well, Bradley, a quick kick will be marked, and it's Trianides marking at half back. Now he's off. He's looking for Gavin Mitchell, in fact, and he has found him. That's good play. On to Wakeland, who drives it down to Big Spider. Now he's got it. He gives it off to Jones. Aussie Jones, an open goal, and he's kicked it across the face. And he's not happy with himself, as you can see.
It's a good sign, though, Peter. At least Aussie Jones is creating him some opportunities and being at the coalface. That's what it's all about for him.
So be happy to be back on the side, little Aussie. This is Hines going to Massey. Chris Massey deep in that back pocket area. It's been a terrific quarter by the Blues. Here's a man unmarked at half back. Brett Rattenfancy leaving him on his own. And towards Whitnell, who as usual was playing in front. That's Zilla getting it to Young, and Matthew Young drives it across the ground to half forward, and the mark has been taken there by Ben Thompson.
Former Glenelg best and fairest winner Surakoski. Harvey, the Brownlow medalist, goes at goal, but he too has missed to the near side and puts it through for one behind.
Just looking at the midfield, Pete, and obviously it's indicated by inside 50. Carlton inside 50 20 times, and Kilda just 10 to this stage of the game. So surely the strength of the game at the moment is with Carlton in the middle of the ground.
Manton to Kutafides to Rice. We're in the last minute of the first quarter here at the MCG. Rice against his old club, one of them. Whitnell, long way from goal, and clears the line with the punch. So the Saints trailing by 17 points. I think they went in as favourites here today. They're looking at their fourth straight defeat. So their premiership aspirations before today, at least, in tatters, including being beaten by bottom side Hawthorn. They've lost the last three. Close one against Essendon. Arguably should have won it. A bounce on centre wing. Quick kick comes out of the congestion up towards Manton. He'll take it over the line. Everett's got him partially, and we'll see another throw in. So just on siren time here, unless there's an infringement, the scoring will probably have dried up. Everett looking for front position. Allen was there with him. Chance for McKay and Burke, picked up by Bradley appropriately on the quarter time siren. A good one for Carlton. Despite 7 straight behinds to open their scoring, they finished up with 4-9. So after that, they added 4-2. And Stan Ells, well, he'd be pretty unhappy, I think, with the first quarter effort. A lot of errors and turnovers in defence, and that certainly won't please him. But they can only get better, I guess, can't they?
Well, that's right. I mean, quarter time couldn't have come quick enough for the St Kilda players. They need a vehicle now by where they can regroup, get themselves going. Whereas Carlton, Kernahan and Parkin coming down, they'd be quite pleased with the start today. No doubt at all, Pete.
From the MCG, we'll take a break. Back in a moment. Side where St Kilda's going to finish in the 8. They've got to get into it. Everett tried to get it to Burke. They couldn't. It's Harvey again. His second half of the first quarter was a lot better than his first. He finished up with 5 kicks. Everett takes the hand pass from Thompson. Over the top, intended for Winmar. More out of him they need. Everett, gives it back. That was intended for Cook, but they couldn't find him. Still, they've worked it down there.
Should have had the original kick, I think,
Yeah,
Terry Everett.
And you don't give those handballs when your body weight's going back away and you're handballing the ball in the opposite direction. It's not aggressive football. He needs to be more definitive in his actions than that, Big Spider.
Allen up high. Winmar. It gets taken high. That'll be a free kick.
And hopefully Nicky Winmar will just go back and take the kick and drill it, because if he gets involved in the after free kick stuff, he may well be responsible for the free kick being reversed. No. Okay, it's all set up. Nicky Winmar, here we see him going in and tackled high by Sexton, clearly, so no doubt at all about the free kick, and Nicky Winmar will line up from about 20-25 metres out at a very slight angle.
277 career goals to Nicky Winmar for his first today. 15 metres out, and he has missed. What has that end done to players?
It's just a poor kick, simple as that.
I had a very neat football record before that. I put it down before he kicked it. I should have learned, shouldn't I? Manton marks in front of Stewie Lowe. A short kick out. Manton gets it away. That's okay as well. Franchina, who kicked his first career goal in the first quarter.
It's on centre wing. McLaren laying the tackle on Beaumont. Shane Wakeland dived on it. Now that's holding the ball.
Yeah.
Now he dived on that, made no attempt to hit it out, John.
Yeah, but somebody has to tackle him, Pete.
They did.
No, well, if we have another look at it, I think there is serious doubt as to whether anybody... Now, see, if anybody grabs him by the jumper, no doubt he dives on the ball, but nobody's tackled him. They've all just jumped on the ball, basically.
Well,
I know what you're saying, Pete, but the instruction given to the guys is if there is no tackle, then there's no free kick.
well, I reckon that could be interpreted as a tackle. There's Andrew Thompson. It's on centre wing now. He's bringing it in towards half-forward Low. And he's the danger man down there. He's already kicked 2.
Still their only goal kicker.
Well, he's kicked 2 straight. One of them was from about 30 metres and just got over the line by about a centimetre.
So you think, Pete, this one's just outside his range, you reckon?
Yeah, it'll test him. He's not a huge kick, just outside 50, and he's forced. He kicked wide because he was trying to get that extra little bit of distance.
You'd wonder whether players would ever get to the mindset of, OK, this is 2 metres outside my range. I'm just going to toss it up on top of the square for a contest, because more often than not, they lose the accuracy when they try to buy that extra couple of metres in distance.
Well, that was a lovely mark by Koutafidis. He's got very good hands. Chris Massey, I should say.
Didn't know you were that familiar with it.
I've developed a new name.
It's almost like what I used to call Jason Love.
Or Allen's kicked straight into the hands of Everett. He didn't go far enough on the mark, but he made up for it. Franchina, a look-away hand pass to Massey. He went without it. That's an ugly passage of football, that.
They need a goal here, the Saints.
Everett to Winmar. Oh, Winmar has taken away. He's a tough cookie, this. He's an old-fashioned, hard player, that Anthony Franchina.
St Kilda need Nicky Winmar, Pete. I'm sure you agree with that. They need him running. They need him kicking goals.
Yes, a few of their big names are down so far. Everett just starting to get into it in the second quarter. He's in the land of the missing in the first quarter, but Harvey was likewise. Oh, brilliant play. Any word you like. I couldn't find one, but that's superb. Well done.
He is sensational, isn't he?
I was groping for about 3 words there. He went through like a Sherman tank through that pack, split him apart.
He is the best player in the competition. Well, maybe Kerry to watch. Would you agree, Terry? He is fantastic.
There's no doubt about it, and I can see why Pete stumbled with the words. I mean, he's just so good, Robert. He creates something out of nothing, and he has this little hip weave that somehow throws everyone out, and no one actually gets to tackle him. Great goal.
Well, the reigning Brownlow medalist, Robert Harvey, and he'll go close again this year. Just showed what class he is made of then. Here's his opponent, Bradley, and Harvey's after him, nearly got him. Bradley brings it in towards half forward. Socket off the ground, Nathan Burke. Now Zilla. Back to the centre of the ground, Andrew Thompson. Harvey having an influence now. Here he comes, that's a good kick. Beautiful kick by Harvey to Cook. And he's paid the mark.
No, he didn't pay the mark, but he's paid the free kick for over the shoulder. So, again, don't want to harp on it, but in the umpire's opinion, the contact over the shoulder wasn't coincidental with the attempt to spoil.
But again, Harvey with that brilliant acceleration and, well, just sheer class. And he's having an influence on this game now. Cook, Brett Cook, formerly of Fitzroy, of course, will kick from 40 metres directly in front. The Saints starting to get right back into this game now as Cook has kicked it.
Great kick.
Well, the Saints composing themselves, and now they only trail by 3 points.
Cook can be a very good foil into this forward line of St Kilda, particularly in the absence of Heatley. I mean, the lead was a very good one, and he reached to meet the ball out in front of himself. That forced the defender to spoil over the shoulder, therefore picked up the free kick. Kicked a couple of goals for them last week. One here now, allowing Everett to have a go in the rucks. A very important structural move for St Kilda.
Only Brett Cook's 8th career goal, but it was the best long kicked goal we've seen today, and the difference is now back to just 3 points. 33 plays 30 here at the MCG. Everett taps down, nearly found Thompson, picks it up himself, throws it out to Thompson in the end, in result of which is going to be a ball up just wide of the circle. So good commitment by St Kilda to come back, and the first option taken by the players this quarter has proved productive. Good old-fashioned grassroots stuff, I guess. Thompson tried to barge his way through.
Tackled high, Pete.
Ratton nearly, I guess, gave away 50 metres, but he's come back. Thompson to Burke. Good kick. Winmar the flyer, nearly, the pack spread eagle there. Low at the bottom, predictably. Good tackle by Winmar, ball jarred free, thump to the front, try and Eades. Allen should mark this, no, in front was Everett. A quick kick by Franchina, clean bowls Murphy, likewise Young. Saints with the numbers. Was Young tripped? Saints fans were asking the question. Camporelli to Bradley was good. Bradley, 9 possessions in the first quarter, all of them kicks. Silvani, Rice has a shot at goal, has missed everything, kicked it like a bag of wheat and out of bounds.
Tried to get a bit of a banana angle on it, I think, Pete. He tried to angle the ball. He wasn't balanced well enough to kick it on his left boot, so he tried to spin it on the outside of his right boot, and it just was turned into a mongrel.
It sure did.
And so we spoke about the Rice's role there underneath Silvani, and that's where a contest would form. Giulio could have been the player to do it, but he's got the job on Jones.
Ratton, left foot snap. Now the goal umpire confers with the boundary umpire, and he's given it a goal. Wow. I had no idea on that one, I must admit.
But he was in a good position.
Yeah, well, the crowd were very quiet behind the goals, and there are a few blue and white flags back there, so you couldn't say it was the silence was because they're predominantly St Kilda supporters. And as you said, Pete, he's the bloke that's on the goalpost, so he's the bloke that can tell which side of the post it's gone.
Ratton was unmoved, wasn't he?
It's not as if it's an all too often occurrence for Ratton to kick goals either. You reckon he'd be a bit more jubilant than that?
Well, the Saints were coming right back into it. Now they're 9 points down again after a quick snap by Brett Ratton. The goal umpire raced across pretty quickly. That's a poor bounce, favours Allen. Oh, gee, that made a difference, that bounce, because then he was able to give it to Fraser Brown. Thumped away by Wakeland. Here's Robbie Harvey again, driving it to the half-forward line. Low, the big hands went up. McKay did well to spoil. Low in after it again. Good hand pass to Nathan Burke. They've got the loose man out here wide. This is Joe McLaren. He centres the ball in front of goal. Cook is there. Oh, as Terry Wheeler said, he could be a very good player down there. He's taken another good mark.
Pete, we mentioned how when Peter Everett was in the forward pocket in the first quarter, St Kilda just couldn't get the ball down there. And I think Everett's a very influential centre bounce ruckman, and he's been able to turn around. They've won a couple of centre bounces this second quarter, St Kilda. Now Cook has to fulfil his end of the bargain, and a couple of very good contests. And this mark, he should kick this his second goal without any doubt at all.
Well, he's too big for Manton. And Brett Cook for his second. Oh, he's drifted this. I think he's missed by the body language. And another miss down that end of the ground. And a bad miss.
1-1 to Brett Cook. 8 points the margin. Koutafidis back into the side today to kick in. It's the hurry up from the umpire. Subsequently goes long to the outer side. Giulio to Fraser Brown, who likewise had 9 possessions in the first quarter, 4 and 5. Whitnell, not a huge influence on the game so far. Ratton back to Brown, lovely balk around Darryl Wakeland. Young punches to the side for Thompson. And Thompson looking for options across the members stand flank. What's he got out there? Not much. Allen. Everett nearly. Good mark, Camporelli. Scott Camporelli maybe too far out to score.
He kicks it, but now there's no one back there.
Not a soul. Silvani nearly. Jones, after Hudson knocks it away. Zilla will give it back to him. Kicked two behinds in the first quarter, Aussie Jones. That one's not going to go out of bounds, as maybe he would have liked. Beaumont on centre wing. Centres it to half forward. Whitnell the target. Harvey into the match now. DiIulio into the back of Jones, arguably. Young tries to crash his way through. On the shoulder, free kick St Kilda.
Matthew Young at half-back. He wants to get on with it, and he does. He kicks wide. That's good thinking. Tony Brown's on his own. Now he's way out at half-back. Silvani's after him. Brown kicks it hurriedly in towards the half-forward line. Franchina at the back. He's on Winmar. Franchina races away. That was good, strong play by Franchina. Here's Glenn Manton. Been a good player for Carlton since coming from Essendon. Here's Dean Rice. He looks as though he's been moved out of that forward pocket. Kicks it in front of Allen. He gets a favourable bounce. He puts it in front of Kuda. Will Kuda go? No, he gives a hand pass. Ratton did well. Fraser Brown. Whitnell on the lead. Can he get there? Hudgson's there. Whitnell's got 2 to beat. He tries to recover. He races back after Daryl Wakeland. And St Kilda mop up through Hudson. Oh, it's dropping short of Young. Now Harvey. Oh, beautiful hand pass by Harvey, and he finds Zilla.
Zilla's kick up and under will land centre wing. It's a contest. Cook in front. Manton punches from behind. Good defensive stuff from the Blues veteran that's out of bounds on centre wing.
Pete, just in the Carlton forward line, they haven't quite got the mix right at the foot of Silvani yet. DiIulio's running there with Aussie Jones, and Matthew Hogg is in actual fact the permanent forward pocket. I think there's an opportunity just to roll those two over. Let Hogg take Jones, DiIulio into the pocket where he might snare a goal.
And you know what I'd do? I'd put Silvani to full back and Manton to full forward. Switch them round.
Manton had the free kick. Have it to Camporelli. Punch away from Silvani. Trianides. Low trajectory kick. Franchina and Winmar. Oh, you'd reckon a Carlton free kick, Jack Russo.
Right at the very end, the free kick was paid for a push in the back, and there was a hold, there was another hold, and we see Nicky's got him, he lets go, got him, let's go, then just buries him. So eventually the free kick paid for a push in the back.
McKay. Carlton work it forward down the member stand flank. A 2-on-2 contest. Good jump from Hudson. Clears the zone.
The old boxing terminology, Terry, the raging bull. That's what I call that. Anthony Franchina. Oh, is he a goer?
No doubt about it. From St Joseph's in North Melbourne, who have also produced Shannon Grant. So that school continues to put out very good young footballers.
You'd have to be able to play well there.
Well, you see, it's only an asphalt yard over there at St Joey's, and
they don't even wear knee pants.
Well, all the old timers say that the North Melbourne sides of the early 50s was the toughest side of all time, and they all came from that school.
Kellys and Gerrards,
Kellys and Gerrards, all those. They're in folklore, those fellas.
They are. Massey, the youngster from the Dandenong Stingrays. Kick doesn't find its target. Trianides missed it. Camporelli descended upon, tackled by 2.
And Russell Morris would have been one of those nice schoolboy types with the beautiful grassed ovals, wouldn't he, Pete?
And don't forget, Peter, the silver spoon in my mouth as well.
They cut the position you played in with scissors.
You can talk being a Marsland school teacher. You know what they say about them?
Interesting ruck contest that. Burke. Almost a little banana kick to keep it in play. Rice, courage needed there. Tony Brown knocks it away from Kudafidi, centre wing. So St Kilda working it around the boundary line, albeit slowly.
Just a change there, just at this boundary throw. Mitchell's a player off, and Campbell coming on for St Kilda. He's got now Chris Massey.
So it's centre wing Kudafides against Lowe. That'll be a good contest. Ratton working hard as usual. Robbie Harvey, he was tackled from all angles, and it's out of bounds. So the throw in again. Let's see, it's Lowe and Kudafides. He's settling in well at centre half back. Kuda. There's Lowe with that big bucket hands tapping it out. Fraser Brown did very well. Bradley hooking it back to half forward. Harvey waited for it. There's a free kick for Hogg.
How did Hogg get rid of it? That's what I'd love to see again, because Hogg definitely took possession of the ball and did what we saw Kevin Bartlett do many, many years ago.
Well, he kicks to half forward. Silvani, he's got support here. Onto the ground is Adam White, and a poor kick. He's kicked it out.
Here we see Hogg takes the ball and throws it. There's no doubt he's dropped the footy. The free kick's gone the wrong way.
quick little handball or not?
No.
What do you think?
Dropped it. Just dropped it.
Dropped it.
And that's, I mean, I've seen a few of those this year, and umpires really have to be prepared to pay the hard decision, because no doubt the crowd would have gone bananas if that free kick had gone the other way, but that's the way it should have gone, the other way.
Wakeland to half back. It's tapped the ground. Here's Harvey. Let's see what he does. Was it? Oh, he's got it. He weaves out of trouble again to Zilla. Camporelli is there and Burke. Now Koutafidis, and the umpire will bounce.
Right in front of the MCC member stand.
And just another change there, Peter. Porter coming on for his first run, and Matty Allen sitting it out for the last part of the second quarter.
Well, that's going to be a blow for St Kilda, because Brett Cook's looking a tad the worse for wear there. We'll keep our eye on that. He's still on the ground, pretty near the interchange gates, and he may come off. Low in the meantime does the ruck work. Can't find a teammate. Murphy to McKay to Camporelli. Camporelli on the left. Good centering kick. Whitnell should mark this, and does.
Good kick.
Yeah, they got the ball to the right spot, didn't they? This mark now from Whitnell is only some 25 metres out from goal, directly in front, as we see Brett Cook coming off. And
knee, is it, or
left knee or ankle?
well, let's hope it's okay, because he's going to be very important. When Carlton have got both Matthew Allen and Mark Porter to keep throwing onto the ground, they're going to need the big men out there.
A bit going on between Franchina and Nicky Winmar again, Pete.
At the other end.
Yep, the other end, probably 80 or 90 metres away from the play, and the emergency umpire with them now, and the field umpire at that end, Aslan Whitnell,
kicks a
drills
goal.
it.
Whitnell gets his first, and that little confrontation is still continuing. I think Franchina pointing to the scoreboard.
I'm sure he did. Oh, he's just back from suspension. Look at the body development of him. He's a tough little customer.
Which one? I reckon they both are.
Oh, yeah, Nicky. Well, Nicky's a sensational player too.
He just doesn't want to be sucked in. If he concentrated on playing football, he'd probably win that contest.
Well, plenty going on here. Anthony Franchina just playing very close and hard on Nicky Winmar. He realises what a great player Winmar is and what he means to these Saints. He's just wearing him very, very closely. 6-9 to 4-7. Carlton squaring on top again. So someone has encroached into that centre square area, a Carlton player.
Tell you what, that's unforgivable.
Oh.
You know, you've got to hold back just 6 inches. What's 6 inches in a game of footy when you're somewhat 22 metres away from the ball? Hold back on the line.
I think that'd drive coaches mad, and I think Terry Wheeler was speaking as a coach there, as we see Matthew Young receiving from Winmar in towards half forward. It's no mark, taken by Zilla. A quick snap. Bounce, the wrong way. It was a Shane Warne leg break instead of the wrong one. And
Franchina and Nicky Winmar into
still
it again,
going at it.
right on the 50-metre line there.
Yep. But that's Johnny Russo. That's the worst thing Winmar can do.
I agree with you, Russ.
I know Cuz pretty well, and he's just intimidated. He's gone. He's not going to get the footy. He's out of control now. It's not good.
Well, he should have got a free kick then, I think. But anyway, it's on again, and they're really getting amongst it now, Nicky and Franchina.
But Nicky's lost it. I agree with Russell.
They're both wrestling, so that'll be a report.
He sucked him in.
Yep.
And you can see it there. So if it doesn't come up on the sheets today, it'll probably come up on video during the week. Anyway, let's get back to the footy. Rice to Fraser Brown. Brown's kick towards half forward. McKay on his own takes the mark. Thought about going on, but goes back. Now he's off. Beautiful delivery. Camporelli 25 metres out directly in front.
Also, just another quick one, and sorry to harp on it, but this type of thing with what Winmar's doing is quite infectious, and you can see it goes through the team, and they lose focus, and all these Carlton players on their own, like obviously now Camporelli lining up 35 metres out for a shot.
Well, I'm watching Franchina. He's trying to walk away now, and you're right, Russell. Winmar's going after him, which he should be the forward. He should be going the opposite direction.
And he's a better player than that too, Peter, isn't he? Nicky Winmar's one of the best players of all time. He shouldn't be doing it.
Camporelli has missed to the far side, so a little bit of breathing space for the Saints.
You would think that maybe the Carlton hierarchy are pretty happy with what Franchina's done now, because the Carlton runner has now gone out to Franchina and told him to cut it out. So you'd reckon that possibly means mission accomplished. If Nicky's mind's not on the game now, then Franchina can go about playing footy again.
But also, I think they're mindful of Franchina. If he gets sucked in as well, he might snap someone and then get another couple of weeks.
Hutched it in front. Can't complete the mark. Peckett and Murphy. Peckett takes it over the line. We'll see a throw in.
Just looking at the scoreline, Pete, 6 goals 10 to 4 goals 8. It's really been disappointing in front of goal in the conditions that we've spoken about continually. They need to make the most of the opportunities. This game's just too important to mess it up when there's set shots at goal that need to be got.
Well, Nathan Burke's taken it over the line, and so the boots on the other foot between there's Matthew Allen. He's been very good, and in fact he's been fantastic in recent weeks. He's really hit a purple patch. Here's Ratton and Harvey. Here's Camporelli. He's bumped hard. Camporelli still got in the hand pass. Bradley gets it back. Matthew Hogg charges in after it. And still at half forward as it's locked in here. And the umpire, it's a free kick going to Carlton.
Brisbane viewers joined us, and we can give you the score in the second quarter with 6.5 minutes to half time. The Blues are leading by 14 points. A little inaccurate early, and Steve Silvani has taken a free kick, and he is about 35 metres out directly in front of goal. He's playing it full forward so far in the match, and he has kicked 1 goal 2. Kicked a great snapshot, but he should have kicked the other 2 as well. Now this goal umpire is tricky. We'll have to wait. 1 goal 3. He fooled me again.
Well, Steve Silvani's kicking has been, well, it's been atrocious. Kick in, finds Harvey. That was from Matthew Young. A typical long hand pass onto Shane Wakelin. Wakelin blindly kicked it straight to Sexton. So the Saints again, they're not playing well. Carlton are playing very well in. Sexton puts it up. Silvani at the back will fly. He's got a couple to beat. It's over the back and it's kicked through by Peter Everett, who's has had little influence on this game, Terry.
That's true, Peter. It's been a very light day and becomes more important now that Brett Cook, his co-ruckman, is off the ground with an injury. And here's the Carlton bench where they've got Matt Allen sitting there fresh as a daisy. So in terms of big man power, Carlton have the advantage.
Oh, Kudafiti's read that well, that kick from Max Hudson. He's enjoying this at centre half back. Whitnell at the back. But a good mark. Ozzie Jones chipping across. Now he dummies. He's caught. Loses it. And he is going to lose it completely in a minute. No, the umpire's going to come in and bounce on centre wing.
I think we all appreciate as players just how hard it is to get the mind back on the job. Now, Ozzie's just doing everything he can. I'm not sure whether he clearly saw Justin Murphy there when he went to go around the first time and then found himself into more trouble than he bargained for.
So bounce on centre wing. Everett tries to get it to a teammate.
Wheels, and just in relation to that, I mean, a lot of people are critical of umpires saying that Murphy shouldn't be there, but if Ozzie Jones elects to play on while there's somebody in that area, then that's Ozzie Jones's problem.
Brett Knowles on the ground for the first time today and might get a chance at the footy. Here he does, flips it to the back. Burke, Zilla, quick kick, lands inside 50. It's getting close to half-time. Low, yes! Kicked 2 goals in the first quarter for the Saints. Gets it moving quickly. Everett! That's better. As was mentioned moments back, he hasn't really had a big influence on the match so far. But Peter Everett, point-blank range, you would reckon, should kick this.
Yeah, Mark Porter was just caught out there. He was caught in the contest when Everett peeled off around the back and presented himself in the goal square.
So Peter Everett for his 170th career goal. Everett kicks. He's got it. We welcome Sydney viewers to the telecast here at the MCG. 4.5 minutes remaining to half-time. And the Saints coming back at Carlton. The Blues were inaccurate early. They kicked 7 straight behinds, but have been on top by and large in this match so far. But St Kilda working their way back into this contest to now trail by only 10 points.
Yeah, an important goal there for Everett. We just mentioned earlier how the workload now sits with him, with Cook being off the ground. Lower mark there against Kudafiti's. One of the few times that he's beaten Kudafiti's, even though Lowe has got 2 goals in the first quarter. I think Kudafiti's been very good at centre half back. These 2 big men on the ground now for St Kilda, Everett and Lowe, really need to be important.
So the centre bounce, very important. 10 points the margin in favour of the Blues. Well, they both missed it that time, Porter and Everett. But Porter got in a quick hand pass. Everett was grabbed. Now it's Sexton, a curry, kick to the half-forward line. It floats over the back. Silvani used his body well. He can give it off. Almost threw it away. Bradley back to the pocket. Around the corner goes White. He's kicked the goal. Well, a brilliant snap. And they just worked so hard down there, the Blues.
I mean, technically it was a good snap. I mean, in the first quarter we saw Steve Silvani have a shot like that, but he tossed it up too high. And what we see here from Adam White is that he keeps the ball relatively low, just about half goal height. There it goes, just over the goal umpire's head. So very good controlled drop across the body, the foot there, and dragged it around. Good effort.
So the difference back to 16 points. Saints still struggling. They're facing their 4th consecutive defeat. Peter Dean having a run, another of the Carlton veterans. Now Murphy. Murphy from inside the square. That's a towering kick. St Kilda with numbers. And they should be able to run it out. Zilla from Peckett. Burke. Kicks to centre wing. Everett takes the mark. He's lost the headband. He's put that in the pocket somewhere. And he's going to have to come back.
Yeah, the umpire deeming that he wasn't actually behind his mark when he went to go. So,
now, is that behind laterally?
Yeah, it is behind laterally.
Oh, gee, it was a close call.
Yeah, what they say though, Wheels, is that it disadvantages the player standing on the mark if he's allowed to come way over here and play on from that position.
Yep.
Yeah, and the player on the mark was waiting at the right spot.
The player on the mark's waiting at the right spot, and Peter Everett's well this side, but laterally still behind it, and it disadvantages that player too much.
Everett with that low trajectory kick again finds Burke. That was very well done. Whitnell with the fly. Decides to just punch it. Couldn't find Ratton. Goes to Harvey. Nailed by Rice. The umpire set it to stalemate after the ball was jarred free. Interesting.
Yeah, we often see that, Pete, where the umpires are told to only call for a ball up when the ball is actually locked in and stops moving. And many times this year we've seen umpires call for a ball up when the ball is still in motion.
Sirakoski will contest for St Kilda. He hasn't been able to get into the match much either. McKay, Brown, surrounded by blue jumpers. Murphy, taken to the ground by Campbell, holding the ball. Gee.
Now, Murphy obviously didn't hear the play-on call, and so in those circumstances, I think it's reasonable to give him the benefit of the doubt. He hasn't heard the umpire calling play-on because the umpire didn't think the ball travelled more than 10 metres.
Well, did he have when he was tackled, did he have a prior opportunity? I'd say no, really.
No, so I think that should have been a ball up, and Murphy certainly didn't know that the umpire wasn't going to award the mark.
So Campbell with the free kick, a chance for St Kilda to come back again, and that looks pretty good. He's kicked the goal.
And Murphy going over to have a word to the umpire, just continuing to dispute the decision to award a free kick.
He's got every right to, I reckon.
There was no doubt in my mind that Murphy didn't know that the play-on call had been given and that the mark wasn't going to be awarded. So in the circumstances, a bounce was the right result.
Wouldn't you say a lot of umpiring is common sense?
Yeah, in fact, my first umpire's coach, Pete, said that the last rule in the book's the most important, common sense.
So centre of the ground after a controversial decision, really important one. Porter did well to Bradley, was grabbed by the jumper.
And paid, Pete.
And paid now advantage, or no, it's coming back. It's to Craig Bradley in the centre.
But Peter, haven't Carlton improved out of the centre with Bradley's been dominating, Fraser Brown, Murphy, it's just been an unbelievable performance. It's amazing why Carlton aren't in the 8.
And they've got two terrific tap ruckmen. They've got Allen, and then they can rest him and bring on Porter with the huge leap. No wonder they're, and for years they had Justin Madden there, so they've certainly had some riches at the centre bounce in recent years. Bradley kicks to a pack. There's Porter. Good mark. He floated across the front. He's a promising young player, and that's a very good mark.
Just wasn't enough aggression at the contest from the St Kilda backline. They all sort of stand out of this, and Porter's the only player to jump there.
Good shepherd by Whitnell, yeah.
Wasn't he? Just in there holding them back there.
Well, it was Peter Everett's man. He was there. So Mark Porter kicks a shocker out to the right and sneaks it in from behind.
That's a great addition to the play of Lance Whitnell, isn't it? That was a great camera shot we saw of Whitnell there pushing the contest back. That's not such a great shot if you're a St Kilda fan. That's Brett Cook's left knee. So we wouldn't expect to see him back, I would suggest.
I wouldn't think so, depending on how severe the injury is. Brown keeps it in cleverly to Camporelli. Camporelli back to Porter. Doesn't know which way to go. Dragged down by Peckett, or partially dragged down. And it's shuffled over the line for a throw in right half forward for Carlton in the dying moments of the first half. We've got under 2 minutes remaining. The Blues by 11 points. They led by 17 at quarter time, 4-9 to 2-4. Everett, good to see he got the headband back. Makes all the difference. Bradley, quick hand pass. McKay, quick again. Chris Massey kicks it out in front of goal. Whitnell, who's being held there? The umpire lets it go. Campbell, and a block by White. So the end result of that is a rush behind.
And just worth noting, Pete, that whatever holding was going on between Wakeland and his opponent was actually on the umpire's blind side, so he would have been guessing.
Fair enough.
Common sense prevailed, Johnny.
Get on your fly. Hudgton kicks to a contest. Diulio's going to win it. Kicks around Aussie Jones, and that's okay. Camporelli's got it. Peckett will go for the boundary line to get it away from Sauce. He does. It's out of bounds in Carlton's right forward pocket.
Now, this is a great opportunity here for Carlton. Big Mark Porter coming to the ruck work against Everett. Porter will look to try and get it over the back of the contest where the Camporellis and maybe even Silvani will come through. Inside
50s, 40 to 19 in favour of Carlton. Peckett to Burke. Burke lobs it up high. Murphy should take the mark and does in front of Joe McLaren.
At 40 to 19 inside 50, that's a huge difference. And Carlton really should be a lot further in front on the amount of play they've had. Justin Murphy, he's a beautiful kick. Look at that. Right up towards the full forward area. Dean appealing for a free kick, then he was blocked. Kicked away out of the defensive area by Brad Campbell. Here's Tony Brown. He's a left footer, but he's got to swing onto the right. He gives a hand pass off. This is Sirakoski. He goes back towards Knowles. Sirakoski again. David Sirakoski. That's a good kick to Brown. The Saints should be able to do something here. He goes outside. Oh, Winmar's lost it. He's lost it. And Manson inside takes it away and finds Dean Rice.
Well, they're having a great day. McKay, hand pass astray as well. McLaren and Franchina. Well, Nicky Winmar will be copping heaps from Carlton supporters. Let's hope he can regroup.
And you don't like to say it, but if I was coaching the side, I think it's time for Nicky to come and have a sit down on the interchange bench and just cool the heels.
Fair call from a former coach of the year. Ratton. Bradley. No, he's got the fountain of youth, Craig Bradley. There's the siren to end the first half. And just as Brown takes the mark, I guess appropriately, because they've been two of Carlton's best players, and a little bit of ill feeling still continuing. McKay and Winmar. Nicky really getting the rounds of the kitchen.
He's going at Franchina.
It's interesting
this is silly.
Well done, Justin Murphy, to just stand between Nicky and Franchina and say to Nicky, just mind on the job, mate. Go in and have a chat to Stan, and we'll start again when the third quarter is on.
Nicky plays football. He blitzed a lot of them. Let's hope that he can. And Justin Murphy had his own troubles with the umpire in the first half of that decision. So Stan Alves has got plenty to think about as he goes into half-time. The Saints are still in this match. You'd probably say they couldn't play much worse, and they are very much in with a chance of taking it out and breaking their losing streak. For their sake, let's hope they can. They were on top of the ladder after round 14, but they've lost their last 3 matches, including a loss to the bottom side Hawthorn. So they've got a little bit to prove here this afternoon. But Carlton, they're much better side than their position on the ladder indicates. They're second last at the moment after Hawthorn's win last night at the Gabba, and they lead by 2 goals at half-time. We'll take a break from the MCG. Carlton lead by 2 goals as we start the second half here at the MCG. They led by 17 points at quarter time. The Saints tried to work their way back into it in the second. Winmar starting the term on the bench. Burke, a high kick towards half forward. Good punch away, doesn't clear the zone. Diulio. Allen, who's been very good. And so too is this man. In fact, he's been better than very good. Craig Bradley, what a season he's having. Campbell in front. Couldn't complete the mark. Plenty of Carlton jumpers there. It goes to Rice. Gets onto his right foot. Whitnell. Clear of his opponent. Bananas it at goal. And what's he done with that one? I think it shaved the post. It has. So a little bit of breathing space for St Kilda.
Well, they've jumped out Carlton just the way they did early. Allen and Bradley being involved in taking the ball forward. I perhaps would have preferred that Big Lance Whitnell would be able to use his left foot rather than the right foot. Banana
You beat me to it.
Yeah, the players just need to be competent on both sides of their body and not shut out the left foot. You've got to use it on certain occasions, and that definitely was one.
Well, those banana or check side kicks are very difficult. All he had to do was run onto his left and a left foot snap. It might be being a little bit overcritical, but David Sierakowski's got this ball at half back. He gives it across to Campbell in towards centre wing. It's flipped over the back. Fraser Brown, he's working hard as he always does. Now it's at half forward with White. They've got the loose man. Steve Silvani for his second. Handballs over the top. Rice, an open goal. What a start for the Blues. Well, just what the doctor ordered for David Parkin, but just what the Saints did not want, Terry.
No doubt about that. And Dean Rice becomes the 8th goal scorer for Carlton in their 8 goals. So it hasn't been anyone standing up. And really, they've only averaged 12 goals a game, Carlton. So they haven't had anyone that stands up. I mean, Whitnell's kicked a bag of 8 earlier in the year against Footscray, and Pearce is out, and he's been the only other one. So it's going to be well spread today. So players like Rice have to continually bob up and kick more than one, maybe 2 or 3.
8 individual goal kickers for Carlton, and the Blues carry on their merry way. Harvey from Burke. Well, the Saints need the quick reply. Lowe gave them something in the first quarter. He kicked 2. Peckett. McLaren. Well, they come from everywhere. 3 Carlton players were there. They could have raffled it. The hand pass ineffective. It goes to Tony Brown. Down goes Thompson. That's Ben Thompson. Tackled by Ratton. The umpire says a stalemate. It's my ball, gentlemen, at half forward for the Saints.
A few structural changes as well, Peter. I think Shane Wakelin might be up at full forward, up with Stewie Lowe.
So a bounce 40 metres out from the St Kilda attacking goal. Burke. Gee, got Burt to ball quickly. That's a pretty good sort of an effort, and it bounces through. Only missed by about a metre. 1 behind to the Saints. Nathan Burke's first score of the day. 8:15 to 6-9.
Yeah, Russell, your observation of Shane Wakelin being up there, it's appropriate. They just need that little bit extra height there to compensate Cook not being on the ground and giving some assistance to Lowe. Koutafidis
to Hogg to McKay, and Carlton run it out of defence quite well again.
So Andrew McKay, well, the kick was a little bit wide. Sierakowski did well. Daryl Wakelin in towards half forward to his twin brother Shane, went for it one-handed. Oh, McKay's a good reliable player. And pass over the top to Ratton, back to McKay, which is good football. That was terrific defence. Diulio, a great kick to Fraser Brown. 2 bites of the cherry. He's going to centre this to half forward. Everett waits. Spider Everett couldn't mark. It's flicked over the back. And they're off and running with it. This is Campbell driving it way out to Peckett. Peckett, a low trajectory kick, a beautiful kick. That's top play by Peckett, and the mark has been taken by Ben Thompson. He's just outside 50. They need something to move. Oh, that's a good kick. Good lead by Lowe, and he has marked 35 metres from goal, and it should be his 3rd coming up.
It was a good lead, Pete, because he really flew out of the box. When he attacked the ball, he was going flat out. Craig Bradley bravely jumped in to try and intercept it, but there wasn't anything that was going to stop Big Stewie coming on into that one.
So his kicking has improved as each year has gone on. He's become a far better kick for goal than he was in his early days. He's worked very hard at it. Now, having said that, he's kicked 2 today from 2 set shots. A great camera shot of this behind Lowe and what he sees, and he's hooked it slightly and has missed. So we wrapped him up, and again the kicking for goal today on both sides have been very ordinary.
2 goals, 2. Knee bandage there. Actually, it's a thigh, isn't it? This is Manton. It's the hurry on from the umpire. It's okay. Koutafidis back into the side today. Now a play on call. McKay. Centering kick. Son of a problem when you're going for these marks. Sirakoski missed it. White. He gets rid of him. Takes a doubtful hand pass too high. St Kilda free kick. The advantage will be paid. Pickett from Harvey. Can the Saints get the goal that they desperately need now? A couple of bounces from the defender, or normal defender. Not a great kick. Thompson has to punch to the front. Low, snaps and goals. Terrific footy.
Well, what a rover the big man is. Just the contest in the forward line was ever so important. And when Lowe gets into front of the contest, they're just being in the right spot at the right time. Good play on here. The advantage was given, and Harvey wastes no time. Peckett, a couple of bounces now. It's always dangerous when you're running into the forward line bouncing because your forwards are never sure when you're going to let it go. But he decides to go along to the square. Thompson does enough, and then Lowe steps out and goals.
Well, Stewie Lowe has kicked his third, and the Saints really did need that one. They trailed by 1-5. So just 2 straight kicks out of it. Here's Fraser Brown. He's been a good player in recent weeks. Still Fraser Brown. He gives it off to Bradley. Giulio. This is good play. Camporelli from 50. Great kick. Goal.
Another goal kicker.
Well, they've got the answers, Carlton. Every time the Saints creep close, down go the Blues, Terry, and they're playing good football.
Well, that's the most impressive part of their performance here today, is that they've continually had answers for St Kilda. Now, I mean, we've looked at St Kilda all year and right through last year as being a top 4 side, and they are that. But here, Carlton, now, they're not put out by that at all. Each time St Kilda do something, they'll come back with a strong answer.
Scott Camporelli kicks the goal. 9 individual goal kickers to Carlton. That's quite remarkable.
Fraser Brown's had 12 kicks and 10 handballs, Pete.
And he's been absolutely magnificent. Here's another one. Not his best for the afternoon, certainly a real up and under job. Marking attempt by Sirakoski. Couldn't drag it down. Brown. Silvani. Punched away by Hudgton, who takes the hand pass from Harvey. Gives it to Young. Spiral punt kick. Up towards centre wing. McKay punches. Down to Aussie Jones, who started on the bench. Come on, Aussie, give them something. They need a goal, the Saints. He'll get it back again. The hand pass over the head of Bradley. Low. Thompson. That's Andrew Thompson. It's going close. Wakelin, I thought it might have almost hit the behind or the goal post. They come from all directions, and it will be a ball up.
That's a great effort of Shane Wakelin, Peter. He was up against 3 players.
I thought it was 4, actually.
And he kept the ball in the forward zone. Excellent work.
It was good work, so they've still got it down there. They trailed by 17 points, which was the margin at quarter time. Thompson a chance. Bradley beats him to it. Spider. Oh, that's higher than the scoreboard. Won't be a goal. And rush through for a behind to the St Kilda total. So the margin back to 16 points. Everett has kicked just the 1 goal for the Saints today. 7-11 their tally to 9-15. Oh, nearly out of bounds without being touched. Brown gets it just inside the line. One of Carlton's best. He and Bradley have given them absolutely heaps. Sexton couldn't mark it. Tony Brown. McLaren. Low in front of Koutafidis. Mitchell, quick again pass to Thompson. Thompson has a snap at goals, and he's got it. Best footy of the match so far in the third quarter. It's 8-11 to 9-15. The Saints won't go away.
There's no doubt about that, Peter. Goal for goal opening part of the quarter here. And really, this is the period of the game where one side needs to be able to develop an ascendancy over the other. So it's going to be a real tight arm wrestle here for a while. Both coaches would want to be able to get back-to-back goals here just to break the sequence. You can't better getting 2 goals in a row to beat an opposition side.
Well, it's 10 points the margin now in favour of the Blues. Beautiful goal by Andrew Thompson on his non-preferred foot. Everett flicks it back to Burke. If they can get another quick one, they'll gain enormous momentum. Here's Lowe. Oh, it's punched away Koutafidis. Good punch. Massey flicks it out wide. Trianides was there. Now it's Matty Hogg, young player in Massey, always surrounded by Saints, and it's forced to the line, but you can see the urgency now with the St Kilda players. It's a very big game for them. Carlton can't make the 8. St Kilda in danger of going out. It's flicked over the back by Allen. Massey, Camporelli ducked the head. Over to McKay. Massey again hooks it around the boundary line, thumped over the line, way out at half forward, and that is that St Kilda scoring in.
Man on screen has been fantastic. Fraser Brown probably playing the best footy of his career, and yet won't be playing in the finals this year. That's a big disappointment. Burke has lifted. If it's possible for him to lift even more. Trianides, was he dragged high? No. Hogg. That's high, wide and not too handsome. Will be downfield, I think.
Yeah, deemed to be late, Pete, so the free kick paid where the ball landed rather than where the kick was taken at the time.
Bradley and Brown, the two Bs. They could nail them, the Saints, well, they might be home. Koutafidis. Kouta from the centre. Down to Silvani. A little bit too high for him. Takes the hand pass from Whitnell. Thanks very much. And pops it through for another one to Carlton.
Well, what a passage of play. It just really flew. Bradley gets the aggression going at a half-back when he, in essence, gets on his bike and away he goes. He carried it through half-back with 2 or 3 bounces, and Everett ends up being Koutafidis' opponent because Stewie Lowe went and did boundary ruck work on that outer side. So Koutafidis is always going to get round to Everett. Whitnell, good quick hands back to Silvani. Looked better running at the goal then.
Oh.
Well, Silvani and Hudson.
Well, that was a response to something said, actually, because
he got him there.
Sauce was down doing up his shoelace and came up very quickly.
Well, centre of the ground, we've said all day that there's Burke appealing for a free kick, the umpire not having anything to do with that. Sexton tries to shuffle it out, but Carlton have had the answers every time St Kilda have got that sniff. Let's see what happened.
And what's this one?
Hudson stuck his nose in when it shouldn't have been there. I think a bloke's entitled to do up his lace.
The old your mother wears gumboots line, you know. Gets them every time.
Yeah. Well, here's Nathan Burke. Gee, as he lifted a cog, he's really having a dip. Good use of the body by Peckett and good umpiring to allow it. Here's McLaren running to 50. The Saints come forward. They need a mark. Well done by Manton to flick it over the line for a behind.
Peter, just quickly, another player that has probably been a bit unsung today is Lance Whitnell. He hasn't taken a lot of marks or kicked many goals, but he's done a lot of really good things as centre half forward and created a lot of opportunities for his running players.
It was a good hand pass that he got to Sauce for the goal. Allen, best big man on the ground, you'd reckon today. Whitnell. A bit of a shepherd there to try to give Bradley an opportunity to pick it up, but not effective.
He plays, Lance Whitnell plays like a much more experienced player. He's got a terrific football brain, Terry.
Oh, it's been a great development, hasn't it? I mean, from his first game last year against Essendon here on the G, when he kicked 4 goals, to really go on and to be this year, you know, some 40 goals under his belt. He's been a very good get.
And the teenager, we seem to forget that. And they play so well so early in their careers. 15 points the margin. That knee causing him problems still.
And that's been the injury that's caused Dan Elves strategically the problems that he's got here at the moment. He can't really do much more with the players that he's got out there. I think structurally it's right. Needs the players now to lift.
Thompson to Trianides. Good smother by McKay. That was Ben Thompson.
Great player, McKay.
Nicky Winmar still looks on. He'll be very keen to get back into the action. One wonders if and when he does, whether he'll come up against Franchina, who's in that contest there. McKay to half forward again. Kick comes down towards full forward from Porter, it was. And a little bit of disagreement there between Sauce and Hudson. In fact, it was Sexton. Looking back. Silvani's kicked 2 goals, 3. Could have been 5 goals. Just a couple of sitters early in the first quarter. Andrew Thompson, their last goal kicker. Zurikowski. Now, youngster from the Dandenong Stingrays, Chris Massey. Silvani in front. Ball hits the deck. Thompson. In fact, the two Thompsons combined. Ben Thompson up to Trianides. Back to Ben Thompson.
Oh, Nicky's into it again on the wing. Matthew Hogg this time. Nicky's just come on and they're straight into it.
McKay. And as Carlton swing back into attack, Silvani sees the ball over the line in front of him, punched away by Max Hudson, will take a boundary throw in 15 metres from goal.
And Winmar's gone down, nothing in it. Hogg's trying to ignore him, as you can see. Well, the ball's down the other end of the ground. Let's watch the action of the football. It's in the forward pocket.
The umpire's blown his whistle and paid a free kick against Nicky Winmar, so the free kick will be paid down there, but against Nicky Winmar at centre half back.
Well, this is amazing. Now, Stan Alves is in an invidious position here. He's got to take Nicky Winmar off the ground. He is out of control. He's coming off the ground. I'm pretty sure the runner's gone out. He'll be straight off the ground because he is just...
Look, can I just say, Pete, Nicky Winmar was great to umpire. I really found him a great fella, but today it's just been so obvious, and we've harped on it a bit, it's just been so obvious that he's been distracted from doing what he does best, and that's playing footy.
Well, look, this could cost them the game. It could cost them a goal down here, and the umpire's speaking. I'm amazed he hasn't been taken off.
Well, the runner came out, didn't he?
Well, here's the shot for goal from Lance Whitnell, and he's a great kick normally. He might have just missed this, I think.
Well, so just to run through what happened, Nicky Winmar actually pushed Matthew Hogg in the face, so the umpire at the opposite end of the ground to where the play was paid a free kick, but because it was the greater disadvantage to pay it on Carlton's forward line, that's where it was taken.
Well, I think Stan Alves should take him straight off, because now Franchina's gone onto him, and Franchina will wear him like a glove, and you just can't have a player there who has lost control. Now, the hand pass given to Matthew Young by Brad Campbell. It's on centre wing. Peckett races after it. He thumps it about 25 metres. Franchina. Now, what's happened here? There's a free kick here.
Against Nicky Winmar again.
Oh, well, come on, Stan. He's got to go off. Well, he's refused to come off, apparently. Nicky Winmar, he's now coming back for another serve.
And Bradley's had a go at him as he's come off, and Nicky's done a U-turn and gone back to have another crack at Bradley. He's now pushing the runner off, and the runner's... I mean, this is where a champion probably loses a few fans, so come on, Nicky, just come back on and do what you do so very, very well.
Well, Tony Brown is taking his place, and I think Stan Alves was trying to get him off the ground. He wouldn't come off. So Robert Harvey got a quick hand pass in there, but the umpire will come in and bounce on centre wing. Let's see what...
Yeah, you called it exactly right, Pete. And here's Nicky Winmar with Matthew Hogg. He's running in, and we can't really see what that free kick was paid for. But that was what the free kick was paid for. And then, as you said, Pete, Nicky refused to come off.
Whitnell, well, we might not see him again today. White tried to get it to Brown. Brown, one of Carlton's best today.
But Peter, just a quick one, just to finish. I know we've harped on it, but this is just it's just rattling the side. It really is. I mean, everyone is more concerned about Nicky than this bloody game, and it's so disappointing from St Kilda's point of view. I've never seen it like this before.
White to Ratton, from the tip by Everett. Oh, great effort down there by Sierakowski. Brown off the ground to get it away from Diulio. Aussie, well done, son. The youngster, showing them how it's done. Lovely Bork. If they can get him to fire, they'll take this match out. McKay. And Carlton with numbers. Diulio. Didn't quite come off the way he wanted. Nice sidestep. Allen at right centre wing. Hogg barking instructions at him.
See, loose men everywhere out here on the wing.
They have. Hogg finds one of them in Koutafidis. Shepherd by Beaumont. Whitnell. Well played, Carlton. So the Blues taking advantage of the Saints being a little bit rattled. Difference is only 16 points, so it's not insurmountable. He's gone in short, and that's okay too. White has got the mark, and he's pretty well directly in front of goal.
He has got a fantastic football brain, Lance Whitnell, Terry.
There's no doubt. The eyes were always darting. He was always looking for the other option. Look, I think just the composure of the Carlton side here is definitely their advantage. They stand head and shoulders above the Saints just at the moment in that area.
Will he become Carlton's first multiple goal kicker? And what's he done with it? I think he's got it. He has. The difference out to 22 points now. That's the biggest it's been in the match. 11-16 to 8-12. And Adam White, Carlton's first multiple goal kicker, he has 2.
The impressive thing for me about Carlton is that early in the year there was this core of older players who had gone and lost their mates of Kernahan and Williams and Madden, and there was these young players coming in, and I don't think the chemistry was quite right. Now over a period of time it's there.
Well, this is very impressive stuff by Carlton. They were thrashed last week by Melbourne, but before that they had annihilated the Western Bulldogs. They've had some very good wins in recent weeks. Here's Ratton, and this is why they've been winning. Their midfield has been terrific. Look at Silvani. Did he mark it? Umpire said yes. He's pretty fired up, Steve Silvani. He's been a fantastic player over a number of years, mainly at full back, but a terrific competitor. Steve Silvani, he might kick the hard one here from the boundary line. He missed some sitters. Let's see what the fullback does. You wouldn't believe it, would you? He's kicked the goal. Great kick.
Well, I think, as we all said, I mean, early in the game, Carlton knew the expectation was that they'd been competitive and the stakes were high, and now they just know that they've got St Kilda on the back foot, and so there's not so much pressure on Sauce now, so he's probably more relaxed when he's taking those set shots at goal. Yeah,
potentially so. I mean, what I've liked about his game at full forward is that he has consistently and always provided a contest. You know, early he was dropping a few marks himself, but once he's stuck to that, it's been given other players opportunities now.
I said that Adam White was their first multiple goal kicker. He's their second. Steve Silvani has kicked 3 goals, 3 out of Carlton's tally of 12-16. 28 points the margin. They've blown the game wide open, the Blues, haven't they? Camporelli, good as a kick. That punch gets it to half forward. On the end of it is Bradley, but there's a free kick to St Kilda.
Free kick to Sierakowski against Ronnie DiIulio for holding, and Ronnie thinks that might have been staged. I think it's Ronnie.
So Sierakowski at centre half back. Saints with their backs to the wall, their season in tatters really, after they were on top after round 14. Stewie Lowe back into the side today. They've lost every match since he's been missing. They may be going to lose another one. Massey punches to the front. Camporelli, Whitnell, long way from goal, but takes the mark right centre wing. Over the head of Matthew Young, kicks it down towards Allen and Jones. There's no contest. Allen, DiIulio, Ronnie runs in, kicks short. Silvani leads out in front of Hodgson. Good lead, good mark. Sauce thought about a rush of blood there to the head, but now decides to go back.
And it must be terrific for Silvani to go down forward after having to play on champion full forwards all the time and have a bit of freedom on the forward line.
From 45 metres out, he's kicked another one. That's his 4th.
Well, the arm wrestle's over.
Yes, it is.
Carlton have slammed the forearm of St Kilda right down onto the table. And the concern now is that St Kilda, in their losses this year, they've had some real heavy losses. I mean, they've lost 4 of their last 5, and 3 of those were by 11 goals, 12 goals and 10 goals. And you would just hate for the floodgates to really open from a St Kilda perspective now, but just at the moment you think it will for Carlton. They'll go.
Well, Steve Silvani, fullback of the century, has gone down to full forward and he's kicked his 4th. And David Parkin, well, he's a great coach. We know that. And he must be loving what he's seeing because he's coaching them again for a couple of years. And the way they're playing today, they'll win plenty of more games next year. It's knocked down by Darryl Wakelin. And their game is going to, the forward game is going to revolve around young Lance Whitnell in future years for sure. It's a free kick down here at half back to the Saints.
To Ben Thompson for
it's Darryl Wakelin.
Darryl Wakelin for holding the man.
So eventually to Matthew Young, out here to Ben Thompson, who marks at half back. They're trying to get something running through the middle here. It's Nathan Burke who's working hard as usual. Oh, he flattened after he kicked it.
That was
stupid.
It was Murphy that ran through, and I don't think the contact was particularly severe, but Nathan Burke went down as though he'd been hit by a Burke Street tram, and he's got up now that he's heard the whistle. But Murphy, I would say, is suggesting that there was no contact made.
Well, I think it was a correct umpiring decision for sure, because Murphy had no intention but to try and just flatten him. As we see Stewie Lowe, he's kicked 3. Well, to equal the goals kicked by Silvani. Let's see what Lowe can do. He's goal.
Boy, did they need that run. 4.5 minutes to go. If they can get another couple before three-quarter time, they may be in with a show. But
the point I'm making, Pete, is that the free kick shouldn't be paid for the intention. It's got to be contact. And there you could certainly argue that there wasn't much contact, if any. Certainly Murphy went through to take him out, but he doesn't get a free kick against him for his intention. He gets a free kick against him for the contact that he makes.
Stewie Lowe, 3 goals 2. St Kilda's leading scorer. Steve Silvani, 4 goals 3. Leading scorer for Carlton. Harvey bounces it to half forward. Lowe again. McLaren right on 50. Not a bad sort of a roost, but over the head of Mitchell, who was the only player St Kilda had in the goal square. And McLaren's first score of the day is a minor one behind.
Just tactically, Peter, we saw the importance there of the centre half forward not being up on the centre square at the centre bounce. So Stewie Lowe was well off it. So the quick kick from Harvey came out and he was able to run onto it, then had the support player of McLaren coming through to feed the handball to.
Chris Massey kicks in, I think for the first time today. McLaren takes the punch on. Ben Thompson. Mitchell the flyer. Hogg didn't find the target with his hand pass. Sexton to Brown, brushes the tackle of his namesake, and the mark is taken by White, short of right half back. Decides to go back for the kick ultimately. Crowd yells out holding the ball. The umpire says play on boys, and they do. White takes it over the line in front of Ben Thompson, and it will be thrown in. Mitchell saying, well, he took me high, but there was nothing for it.
Well, 3.5 minutes to three-quarter time, and you would think St Kilda would have to kick a couple of goals before three-quarter to make themselves competitive in the last quarter. So they've got a chance through Spider Everett, who blazes away, and a very poor kick puts it out in the full.
It's developing into a big ask now. St Kilda's most impressive comeback win was the one over at Perth against the West Coast Eagles when they kicked 8 goals straight in the last quarter. You really can't see them pulling something like out that in this game.
Sirakoski finds McLaren. McLaren's transferring play here to Pickett. And Justin Pickett, a long way out, too far to score a goal, but he can go in short here. Well played by Pickett and well played by Burke to get into that hole. Well, they certainly need this one from this gutsy little utility player. He's tried hard all day. So if they can get this one and sneak another one, they wouldn't be out of it. But Carlton's certainly been much the better side throughout this game. And again, this camera shot from behind will follow this kick through. It's out to the right, and that is as straight as a die for a goal. Nathan Burke has kicked his first, and maybe the Saints can gain something from that.
Well, back to within 21 points. At halftime it was 12, and Carlton really blew it away with, what did they kick? Oh, they kicked 6 goals to date in this quarter, and that's been a good return for Carlton. St Kilda keep hanging in, and it's got to be the quality of players like Burke that keep them there. Harvey needs to have another lift, and then they need to find some peripheral players to stand up.
Normie Goss in front there, looking a little bit worried, and Stan Elves behind, sharing that countenance. Ratton, Bradley, Brown, well, they've been the 3. And here's another one. Oh, look at that. What a mark, Sauce. One-hander. And Max Hutchton just ponders. Great grab. So for number 5, he's kicked 4 goals 3. Started off on the wrong foot, perhaps literally. Kicking for goal. Missed a couple of, well, I won't say sitters, but ones they should have kicked. That's as straight as a die as well. If it's got the carry, it has. It's a goal. Blues have all the answers. They cracked the ton. 14-16 to 10-13. 27 points the margin.
Terry, and again it's that out of the centre, isn't it?
I've no doubt about that. I mean, that's where they've had control, and they've really got a momentum up and going. I mean, this has been their best third quarter for the year. You know, they've had one other one of 7 goals a couple of weeks back against the Western Bulldogs, but this one they've got 7 goals again. They've been able to maintain dominance, and each time St Kilda have put something to them, they've come back at them.
Steve Silvani has kicked 5, playing on Max Hudson. That's a very good effort by the fullback of the century. Here's Matthew Young. Let's see if the Saints can go forward and get one. Lowe using his body. Look at the hands. Second bite. No, couldn't grab it. Brown. Mitchell. Harvey. A brilliant hand pass to Lowe. Lowe kicks. And he's missed. Oh, he's unhappy with himself. But he did have to kick under pressure. A difficult one that time from a standing start.
Well, Stewie's doing his end of the bargain. He's trying to keep pace with Steve Silvani down the other end. Silvani with 4 goals this quarter, Lowe with 2, and then that miss there. What they need is other players within the St Kilda half-forward line to really stand up and give some assistance to the midfield.
Well, that was Massey receiving from Hogg. That's a mark, I would think, to Everett. Yes, good umpiring. I don't think anyone could argue with that.
Sounds like they are.
Well, and I think they're all Carlton, would you believe?
Surprise.
He took a good grab, and then it was punched away after he'd marked it. Now, I don't know whether that's all that good, kicking it there to Shane. Well, it'll come off, but he's gone very wide. The umpire calling play on now. Wakeland bringing it in towards that half-forward area. Massey couldn't quite hang on to it. Fraser Brown's been fantastic. Heads for the boundary line, and this experienced player puts it over.
And Hogg was in no hurry to try to retrieve it either. So 26 points the margin, close to three-quarter time, and it's going to be a mammoth task for St Kilda to try to wrest the points from Carlton here today. So the Blues' unbeaten record on the MCG against St Kilda looks like staying that way. Diulio's kick to Whitnell, had it, lost it. Dean might have been taken high. The umpire says play on. St Kilda will do just that. Peckett. Long kick out of defence, will land it at half forward. Carlton again with numbers at the fall of the ball. Young Massey's got it. Dragged off it as the siren goes. Holding the man was the decision, just out of interest only. As the siren indicates, we've got 1 quarter to go, and the Saints need 5 goals before they can hit the front, and that's without Carlton scoring. So it's a pretty big task, and Stan Alves has a furrowed brow. We'll take a break from the MCG. Back in a moment. The bench. Last quarter from the MCG, Carlton leading by 26 points. Saints facing their 4th successive defeat. Out of the centre, Burke. Manton in front, nearly, yes, no, not played the mark. Trianides tries for the hand pass. McKay, who's mopped up everything across the half back line so far in the match. White at centre wing gets it down to half forward. Loose ball for Peckett to pick up on. Hand pass. Well, Ben Thompson was, well, I won't say asleep, but he wasn't expecting it. There was a free kick.
Yeah, the free kick was paid against Whitnell for a push in the back, and yeah, the only difficulty I have with those is sometimes the umpire's behind the contest, so it's pretty hard for him. He's actually behind Whitnell when that's paid. Admittedly, Whitnell has propelled him forward, and I think it should be paid.
Ben Thompson kicks to centre wing. Oh, Manton again. He was the one that had hands on it first, but it might be Beaumont's ball. Won't matter. Still going Carlton's way. It's a left footer. Beaumont kicks to half forward. Wakeland punches to the front. Ratton, dual best and fairest winner, kicks to half forward, and arguably the best big man on the ground. No, it's Sexton. He's been pretty good too. He and Allen. Beaumont. Dean, little nudge out. Just tried to get Sierakowski further underneath the ball, and it's out of bounds in the left forward pocket. 2 metres from the behind post.
Pete, just structurally, the really unreal change with Shane Wakeland now has gone back to full back to take on Silvani and Hudson into the forward line for the Saints.
Well, here's a chance. It's a hand pass given off to Whitnell. That's a high floating ball, and that has gone through for a goal. Well, brilliantly done. There's no doubt about the Blues. They're playing good football and very difficult now. Terry Wheeler for the Saints.
Yeah, it's too big a task for St Kilda now. I mean, this year or even last year, they haven't come back from this sort of a trailing position at three-quarter time. And for the big bloke Lance Whitnell to do it as a rover there, that's putting a nail right in the coffin for the Saints. He's been very good in the air and at ground level, been very impressive. Pete.
Glenn Manton off the ground.
And Pete, just the thing for mine, what's been impressive about Carlton is that early in the year, I don't think they were as tight a unit. When Kernahan and Williams and Madden and those players retired, I think there was a bit of a division in the club, but over the period of the weeks of the season, David Parkin and his support staff have been able to gel them together, and I think we're seeing a real team out there here today.
Centre of the ground, Brown, oh gee, he's been good. Under Beaumont, the kick in towards half forward. Taken away by Justin Peckett. Peckett on the left, no, he had no one to give it to, so he's forced to come back. And he gives it to Ben Thompson, who drives it to half forward, but uncontested was Chris Massey.
Well, the Suns a problem, but Massey made it look easy. Koutafidis. Oh, what a mark! Wakeland. It's Daryl Wakeland, one of the grabs of the day. Love to see that again. Boy, they need somebody to lift, and maybe he's the man to do it. Koutafidis, let's take a look at it again. Terrific grab over the top of Whitnell. But Kouta's got it. Goes out wider to Murphy, who's just come onto the ground to replace Manton, who went off under the blood rule. Campbell dives on it. The umpire will ball it up on centre wing. Oh, I'd love another look at that one. That was a beauty. Got the ride, didn't he? Did you ever get that high, Pete?
Great mark, no.
Don't ask me, Pete.
I wasn't going to.
And the beauty about that, there were no hands, no hands on the shoulders.
I know that's one of your hobby horses.
Terry Wheeler was more at the ground level, weren't you, Terry? As Nicky Winmar looks on, it's been a very forgettable game for Nicky.
Might be a forgettable game for St Kilda too. And those incidents involving him didn't help their cause. I'm not saying that was the main reason they're going to lose the match. Didn't help. Whitnell, Silvani, Dean. Oh, gee, was that a throw?
Oh.
Yeah.
Sirakoski. Sirakoski still from midfield. Low and Koutafidis don't get the bounce they want. Diulio rides an opponent into the ground, and is free kicked.
Similar to the one we saw moments ago against Lance Whitnell, and no doubt at all. And Ronnie's upset because it's rare that we've seen those paid during the year, and the umpires seem to be paying him this week and last week, and maybe it's something that should have been paid all year, so players were expecting them.
And the umpire signalled too high in the finish then too, so maybe it was around the neck.
Jones right on 50. Looks pretty good from here. Crowd likes it, and so does the goal umpire.
Well, good on you. It's a very good kick from Austin Jones. And what gives you accuracy in kicking for goal is when once you've kicked it, you follow on and keep running for another couple of steps so that you've got a straight line towards the goal. We'll just see the build up here. And Ronnie Diulio, he's caught behind and in the back over the shoulder. Pick whichever one you want. But watch here, once he kicks it, he keeps going and running towards the goal so the ball ensure it goes straight.
Well, the Saints have evened up the score as far as goals in this term. And let's see if they can go on with it. Everett and Allen. Everett won that one and gains about 20 metres. Sexton is a good, reliable player. That's high on Hogg. Yep. The umpire paying advantage. Ratton to Massey. You can give it to Murphy. The running Murphy's a good kick by the foot. Let's see him on the left. Oh, he's kicked it wide, but Silvani waits for it. He's got it, Steve Silvani. He's looking for the short one. Go back and have a shot, Stephen. The way you're going, you'll probably kick it from the boundary. Brings it in front of goal. The high flyers are there. What a great mark.
Had the sit, didn't he?
Well, they've had the answers all day, Terry.
I tell you, and Adam White's been one of those answers, and he's just been one of the players who've been able to step in. It's been a tough season for him. He's had thigh injuries early in the year and time in the reserves, but today he's going for goal number 3. It's been a very good cameo performance.
Well, he's got it. 3 goals to Adam White, and he is very strong overhead, and the Carlton certainly look as though they're going to go on and win this game.
Yep, no doubt about that. And their forward line looks as good as it's looked all year. Stephen Silvani, he kicked 4 goals in that third quarter, including the last 3 for Carlton. And he was the catalyst, obviously, to get the side in the position they were at three-quarter time. What they're looking now for Stephen is consistency and other players to step up like Adam White.
3 goals from Adam White. He described it as a cameo, Terry. I think it might be a bit more than that. 3 goals. He's been pretty good, hasn't he? Allen. Young, up and under kick, travels about 20 metres. Beaumont reads it best. Nobody really coming at him. Silvani. No, not a mark that time. Wakeland. Murphy. Looking for someone to take a hand pass. Bradley's the person. And Brown. Camporelli in front. They come from everywhere to punch that away. Bradley to Brown again. Lovely ball control. But straight to Sierakowski. Intended for Whitnell. And the Saints try to get clear and get it down the other end. Boy, do they need some goals. Everett taking the hand pass from Knowles. Still Everett on centre wing. Ozzie Jones on the lead. Grabbed when he didn't have it and will get a free kick. So DiIulio free kick twice on the same player in the space of about 3 minutes.
Given that Ozzie didn't take the mark, then Ronnie had no right to tackle him. So free kick paid for holding him in.
Low across his body. That's okay to mark the Mitchell. Mitchell directly in front of goal, but they're just going goal for goal with the Blues, and that's not going to win them the match. But still, they keep them in it. Just.
He's been very quiet today, Pete.
He has. Hasn't scored today. Gavin Mitchell. 20 metres out directly in front. Goal umpire hasn't moved. He's put it through. "14 minutes left. Where there's life, there's hope, I guess."
Well, that also applies to the remainder of the season, Pete, for St Kilda. They can't afford to just wipe this one and let it all go. The players individually have to play this one right out. As you mentioned earlier, they've got West Coast at Waverley next week and then Brisbane to finish their run into the finals. They need to keep some form up themselves as individual players.
Well, the Saints trail by 4-2, and there's plenty of time over the 13 minutes. Well, just under 14 minutes in fact. So centre bounce, very important. Sierakowski. Thompson, that's Andrew Thompson. Out to centre wing. The short pass comes in towards half forward, and Hudson has taken the mark. Hudson chips it in and finds Nathan Burke. Now, if they can get 2 or 3 quick ones, they'll be right back in it. They're capable of it. They're a very good side. Just out of form in the last few weeks. About 5 or 6 weeks ago, they were almost premiership favourites. They want Spider Everett to take a mark. Oh, he couldn't grab it on the second bite. Here's Andrew Thompson. Everett has got it. It's in a hand pass. Dean kicks it out of the danger zone. Burke. Oh, a hand pass over the top. Carlton playing well in defence. Desperate play by Sexton. Murphy. Ratton. Terrific play in defence that was. And Massey, that was great play.
Just the weight of numbers there from Carlton. They were all prepared to attack the ball or the ball carrier.
Peckett brings it into half forward. Murphy underneath it. Mark.
Well, the 4 hands on it, but Murphy was the one that the umpire went for. Whitnell to centre wing. Sierakowski with the sit. Couldn't complete it. It went past Peckett. Got a very unfavourable bounce. Franchina was grabbed. Didn't seem to have it. Finally White with a hand pass, but the whistle had gone, and it will be balled up at right half forward for Carlton.
Craig Bradley actually agreeing with you, Pete, and saying that Franchina was grabbed without the footy.
Sexton, the worse for wear. Brown, Bradley. How often have they combined today? Must have said that combination about 20 times. Silvani, a little give to Camporelli, keeps it low. Not accurate enough, and he's not happy.
Also, Peter, on top of that Brown-Bradley combination, what about the young kids? Massey, Whitnell, of course. Matty Allen's only about 24, 25. Adam White, you've mentioned. Beaumont. Hamill, who's injured today, and Franchina. Carlton have got a sensational nucleus for a great season next year.
Just couldn't disagree with that fly. Surakoski around the boundary line. Tear along dotted line, and he is. And gets lumbered right at the finish.
Well, that's about as prior opportunity as you can have. 2 bounces around the outer wing at the MCG.
McKay might turn.
There are more injury problems for the Saints. Wakeland. So let's see what happened here.
Oh, he's cleaned up by his own man.
A clash of heads with Silvani.
Shane
Peter.
Wakeland, it looks
that?
like. White, quick hand pass. Fraser Brown kicks across his body to Whitnell. On the rebound is Ratton. Ratton goes at goal and he dobs it.
Well, 2 goals to Brett Ratton, and still a 22 disposal game to him as Wakeland comes off very groggily. Winmar comes on, and the stadium acknowledge him coming on, but Brett Ratton's work, it has been Bradley and it has been Brown. Ratton stayed in amongst it there today, and 2 goals has been a very good contribution from him.
Well, Wakeland is off the ground.
2 buddies are together again, Pete, Franchina and Winmar.
Yeah.
Franchina's walked straight up to Nicky Winmar as he's come onto the ground.
And Peter Dean coming onto the ground also. There he is. Anthony Franchina, a tough nut. Nicky Winmar, well, he's been sensible this time.
Let's leave Peckett with no opponent at the moment, but I think Manton might pick him up.
Well, Carlton have been very, very impressive. Terrific display. Allen, Brown, close to best on the ground, I would think. Manton, he flew for it. Andrew Thompson to Young, to centre wing. The race is on. McLaren and Beaumont. McLaren traps it, then tried to get in a hand pass. That is tough.
Yeah.
That is damn tough.
Actually did try to handball the ball out.
Manton. Franchina. Oh, he's given it straight to Nathan Burke. And Burke rebounds, brings it in towards half on the big bucket head. Oh, he went to play on low. Good umpiring. Koutafidis to Andrew McKay. Across the ground, they've got 3 players there, one being Allen. Another one was Fraser Brown. Beautiful delivery. And he finds Bradley.
Well, Bradley, Brown, McKay, they've all been very, very good. There's Brown again. Brown to Bradley. Once more we say it. They have been fantastic. They've blitzed them in the midfield. Surakoski, run down by Camporelli. Knowles at half back. Across the ground, looking for McLaren. Finds him in front of Franchina. But he will close to the boundary line. Low, off his big hands. Hoggy's got it. Hogg to Dean. Bad kick at goal, but he's played most of his career at Carlton in defence. But we have seen him kick the odd goal or two, Peter Dean. Tough as old boots. Young the sit from behind. Punches it away from Beaumont. Hudgton runs into White. Back to Knowles. Good tackle. That was from Silvani. Ball jarred free in it. Surakoski can't get rid of it. Carlton ferocious at the footy. Franchina lobs it up in the air. Silvani again. Ratton's gone down on the tackle. Knocked over the boundary line by Knowles, and it will be thrown in about 45 metres out, just as Peter Dean gathers.
Peter, just out of interest, what are the stats of Rob Harvey at the moment? Because I don't think I've even heard you call his name in this second half.
11 kicks and 10 handballs, Fly. Okay. 21 in total.
Probably would have got most of those in the second quarter, I'd reckon.
Yes, he's been very quiet in his final term. There's Ratton, a quick kick at goal across his body. And, well, Fly, I don't think he's going to get to that 30 you tipped.
No, but look, 21 possessions probably sounds good for an ordinary player, but he hasn't really been dominant, has he?
Yeah, no, it's the quietest game I've seen from Rob Harvey in a long time, actually. But he's probably gets sick. There's Camporelli around the corner, and he has missed. But he probably gets sick of just dominating games. Well, not sick of it, but he's got to work so hard all the time with his side not playing well in recent weeks, and he's been killing them.
But we've got to give credit where credit's due with Ratton, Brown and Bradley. Just haven't even been able to give him a sniff.
Thompson in the back pocket. It's all Carlton. Could have raffled that one. Murphy, you give it to Bradley. What was that movie? Cocoon, the fountain of youth they found? Well, Bradley has found it. Shane Wakeland going around the boundary. Hogg. Everett caught out of position, and Manton takes what turned out to be a fairly easy mark in the end.
It's just the weight of numbers at the moment. When we speak about, Bradley has had some 31 disposal, Fraser Brown with 36, Ratton in there with 23. Just the weight of football going Carlton's way has really given their forward line the opportunities.
So Manton, the opportunity to become yet another Carlton goal kicker, which he has done. Ten goal kickers for the Blues out of their tally of 18. Steve Silvani has got 5. Adam White has got 3. Whitnell and Ratton have got 2 each.
And she's now really blowing out a 40-point deficit at the moment. St Kilda aren't careful. There's still over 7 minutes of play left, so there's potentially another 3 or 4 goals there for Carlton. The way they're going, they could really steamroll this one.
Well, Matthew Allen and Lance Whitnell having well-earned rests. Coming onto the ground is John Hines, number 26. Camporelli, Andrew Thompson. Gets it out wide to Winmar, getting the hoots of the Carlton supporters. That was a good kick to Jones, who's playing deep in the forward line. Aussie Jones had a very quiet day. He's kicked 1 goal, but just pick up his stats. He's had 7 kicks and 5 handballs. Tony Brown, 4 kicks, 6 handballs. Justin Peckett, 7 and 6. The smaller players just not doing enough. Jones for his second, and he's kicked it. So 2 goals to the little wingman who's playing, well, he's almost playing at full forward.
Yeah, he has this quarter, Pete. They've just sort of isolated Jones and DiUlio down at that end of the ground. They get a centre bounce break here, St Kilda, but generally that area has been dominated by Carlton. Even though the stats show Carlton 18 out of the centre and St Kilda 16, it's just that when Carlton have got away, they've been much cleaner and quicker. St Kilda get one here, Aussie gets a chance, and again another good set shot.
Aussie Jones, only St Kilda's second multiple goal kicker behind Stewie Lowe, who's kicked 3 goals, 3. Everett and Porter. Burke out of the centre, well, nearly. Camporelli confronted by Thompson, arguably high, and according to the umpire it was. Scott Camporelli. Guess who? Craig Bradley. What a game. Confronted by McLaren. Hines. Winmar took off high. Harvey. Well, we finally get to call Harvey in the last quarter. McLaren. Well, he hasn't seen much of the footy. Started off badly, regrouped late in the first quarter. Had a good second quarter, Harvey.
It's his first kick in the final quarter. Now, that is very, very unusual for Rob Harvey.
Well, you'd question
and
the
no
statistician,
handballs.
but I don't. Burke. Beaumont, good block, and finally taking the ball out of bounds. So not the Saints' day, it's certainly Carlton's, and their position on the ladder, which will be third last after today, as David Parkin goes for another bit of gum. They're a much better side than that, aren't they?
They certainly are, and Carlton showing a lot for the future years. The kick comes down to Manton. He gives it off. Oh, he should have had a shot from there. Hines, Franchina. Anthony Franchina hooks it back. Silvani and Hudson. Here's White. He goes back 35 metres to Ratton. Ratton brings it up in front of goal. Silvani, oh, and Hudson. Hines, another 20-metre hand pass to White, who centres the ball. Silvani, third time. Now Brown. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. He's having a great game, Brown. Terrific snap goal, and in my opinion, best man on the ground, but I'm not giving the votes. 19-18, plays 13-14.
That's one of your rare hand passes, P. McKenna.
Well, I'll catch it. I'm giving the votes, and he is the best on the
fantastic
ground. It's just been a great effort all. Now, the thing that's impressed me, just in this bit of play here and a few times in this last quarter, is that this forward line of Carlton's working the contest just like a back line. They just won't let the ball go until they've scored a goal.
Big smiles all round from Fraser Brown. He and Bradley have just blitzed the St Kilda midfield. Porter, Camporelli, a little give. Now it's Massey taking it from Porter. Oh, that's a good mark. Got to play that to White, don't you reckon?
Yep, and can't cancel a mark, can only cancel a free kick and call advantage, Pete.
And they might get another one, the Blues. Camporelli, what's he done with that? Not great. Peckett. Beaumont. On the left foot. A real mongrel punt, but out of, no, not out of bounds. He's got it through for a behind. His first score of the day. 19-19 to 13-14. 42,120 here today. Trianides takes the mark in the back pocket. Today the Saints would prefer to forget. This is Knowles, short of half back. Everett calling for it on centre wing, or close enough to it. Porter beats him to it. The reserve ruckman with Allen sitting on the bench. Blues have the numbers. Franchina nearly jumped into an opponent. Hudgton, Winmar. A day that, well, Nicky, you'd probably best forget. Matty Young. One-on-one contest. Jones has it punched away. Hogg. Now to Beaumont in centre wing, marking in front of McLaren, who stands the mark.
Low trajectory kick is a very good one, Franchina. The Carlton supporters love him. He's going to become a bit of a cult figure, I think. Here's Kudafettis from 60. Long kick and just swings it to the left and misses.
Steve Silvani's just coming off for the well-earned rest, Peter. So obviously just a tactical move by David Parker. He's done enough.
Going to ask him what Maxie Hudson said earlier, Fly.
I'll report back later, mate. I'm sure you can imagine, Will.
Well, here's Winmar still getting the hoots of the Carlton crowd. Trianides wide to low, has kept trying hard all day. He's kicked 4 goals, but he's come right up to the half-back line to take this mark.
You're right there, Peter. He's been one that's been, I think he and Burke really have worked continually hard. Thompson's been a good player in amongst it, but here's another example. Carlton just had too many guns. Oh, gee, Pete, you didn't get to call it Brown and Bradley again.
Yes,
sorry.
Well, and back
Bradley to Brown.
Well, if you weren't sure, Terry, I think that is absolutely the nail in the coffin, because Brown has been sensational. Well, he's having a purple patch in his career at the moment. There's White flying through the air. Burke goes in hard after White again. Great hand pass to Bradley. He's been everywhere in this final term. He's been a great player all day. Camporelli, this is good team play. They're trying to set it up in front of goal. Hines and Bradley. Hines back. Camporelli. He can't get his boot to it. And he's grabbed when he didn't have it. Eventually gave it out. David Sierakowski around the boundary line. Grabbed by Beaumont, but the ball had crossed the line.
But we just look at Fraser Brown. I mean, the last 3 years, he only played 40 games through 95, 96, 97. Hamstring problems, groin problems, suspensions. But now he's coming back. There's another handball there now. You're right, Pete. He is playing the best footy of his career.
Franchina confronts Sierakowski. Burke. Good shepherd by Porter. Ratton couldn't get the disposal that he wanted. Campbell may be able to do that for St Kilda. Campbell on right centre wing. Centres it to Tony Brown. Brown, a little give. Knowles, straight down the corridor. Was that a high tackle on Aussie Jones? The umpire decides to let it go. Young, a chance at left half forward for the Saints. Played most of the day in defence. Centering kick from the former Hawk. That's okay. Knowles takes the hand pass from Brown, and what's he done? It looks okay. It's a goal.
Well, from an individual level, a good goal to get there for Brett Knowles. It's a first-year player, played his first game in round 3, and then has had problems with leg injuries throughout the season, and now he's just back into the side, played the last couple, so to pick up a goal here, it's good for him, but there's not too much here for the Saints in the last quarter. Unfortunately, they have just laid down and let Carlton take hold of it.
Well, look at Lance Whitnell. He looks very, very happy with his day in Carlton's, and Steve Silvani also there on the bench. Porter went up far too early. Look at Brown still working hard, kept his eye on the ball. Good play, Fraser Brown. Ooh, and they charged
free kick
into that
paid against Fraser Brown, I'd say, because Fraser went in pretty indiscriminately, to use the old umpiring term, and the focus of the umpire now should be just to get the appropriate player to pick up the footy and kick it, because that will very, very quickly get everybody's minds back on the job. And that's what's going to happen now.
Nathan Burke.
Oh, Nicky.
Puts it wide, and it's a mark out there. Way out at half forward, and again, this is Joe McLaren. Justin Murphy pointing at the scoreboard. McLaren from 50, kicks at goal. This is very close. I think it's a goal. Yes, it is.
Oh, there's going to be another free kick paid against Murphy. Murphy actually pushed Nicky Winmar in the back of the head, so we don't see many of these paid, but we're going to see another one now. Now the free kick will be paid where the incident occurred or where the ball was at the time. Because the goal had been scored, the ball would have been at the centre circle.
Well, they might get another one through Brown, who's taken the mark in the right forward pocket.
No, it's coming back again. So just to run through that, Pete, the goal had been scored, so the ball was about to be bounced in the centre, but the infringement occurred forward of the centre, so the free kick is taken where the infringement occurred, because that's the greater penalty.
Oh, he's gone the top, and he really got onto it. Bombs it in the goal square, and it lands just out of bounds.
And they've resumed for another contest, Nicky and Justin Murphy, and
this is getting to the ridiculous stage, isn't it?
Well, I think there's been another one paid to Murphy at exactly the same spot. And it's not verging on the ridiculous, it is ridiculous. So,
Dean.
And setting a very poor example to junior footballers, I reckon.
Yes, couldn't agree with that more, especially at this stage of the game when the game is well and truly won. Hodgson to Burke. On to Brown. Here comes Murphy. That was a pretty solid collision. Within the rules, obviously. The umpire let it go.
Well,
Carlton defenders everywhere. You disagree, Jack?
Yeah, I think it would have been appropriate to pay that one. It was in Brown's back, and I know the rules don't change depending on the circumstances, but a push in the back is a free kick, and I think paying those ones just simmers players' tempers down.
Well, he's copping plenty from Burke and decides to play on. Brown takes the mark. On to Koutafidis. Carlton with aplomb out of defence. To Hogg, if the ball bounces okay for him, it does. He gets it back to Kuta. They want him to kick a goal. Lovely side step.
Too far.
And a shot.
Too far, Pete. I mean, he bounced the ball short of the centre circle, so he's run from the centre circle to the line, and that's 22.5 metres. He's allowed to run 15, even though the rule book says 10. But the interpretation is to allow them to run 15, so half the square is well over 15 at 22.5.
Yes, he forgot to bounce it, I think, John. And there's a good mark taken down there by the veteran Peter Dean. Another kick for Fraser Brown, who gives it to Hines. 10 seconds left in this game. Can they score? He'll have to kick it long. They'll have to take a mark. See if Carlton can score another goal. They need a mark. The big flies over the back. Here's a kick by Massey. Siren sounds. Brilliant victory that to the Blues. They were far too good, Terry Wheeler.
Absolutely. It's been a most impressive performance. Unfortunately, there were periods of the game that we would like to sort of take out and let go. I think Carlton have shown themselves to be very, very consummate at the moment.
Franchina actually went over to Nicky Winmar to shake his hand then, and credit to Anthony Franchina. He went over to shake Nicky's hand, and Nicky wouldn't take it, but I'd say once the final siren goes, that's an appropriate time. Well, it's probably an appropriate time to shake hands long ago, but certainly after the final siren is a very appropriate time to shake hands and forget about it, Wheels.
Yep, no doubt about it.
Well, Carlton have won the match, and they might have won the fight as well. We'll take a break from the MCG.